for the summer period climbs to 18 since the end of the legal initiation schools as the death toll for the summer period climbs to 18 since the end of the school calendar. Young boys from the Eastern Cape have been undergoing traditional coming-of-age initiation practices. Part of the initiation process includes circumcision at camps, usually located in secluded areas in the mountains. The Eastern Cape government says negligence and dehydration are some of the major causes of initiation deaths. Meanwhile, spokesperson for the National Department of Traditional Affairs, Pearl Masego Pingose, has called on traditional leaders to work with government to close down illegal initiation schools.
These tragic deaths are not caused by culture, but by illegal initiation schools, unqualified practitioners, neglect, dehydration, and abuse, among other things. The minister extends his heartfelt condolences to the families and communities who have lost their loved ones during this period of mourning and pain.
The Limpopo Transport Department says an impounded bus will remain with authorities until the necessary fine has been paid. The overcrowded bus was taken off the road this morning, carrying 52 extra passengers. The 65-seater bus was stopped on the N1 bypass near Peter Mokaba Stadium with 117 people on board. The bus was travelling to Malawi from Gauteng. Limpopo Transport spokesperson Matume Tauyatswala says the driver attempted to flee the scene.
One driver, 101 adults and 15 minors were found in this bus. We are yet to also weigh whether the load is also not overload. What worries us more is that yesterday night when traveling from Gauteng to here, because we are told he's going to Malawi, it was given a few tickets in Gauteng, in Centurion.
The city of Cape Town has disposed of close to 3,000 litres of confiscated alcohol. This forms part of festive season operations in the metro to remind the public not to drink in public spaces. The liquor disposed of today was confiscated by the city since the start of December. Carlo Peterson has more.
MACO member for Safety and Security JP Smith says the disposal of close to 3,000 litres of confiscated alcohol highlights a serious issue of alcohol abuse, especially during the festive season.
This is a major factor for us. Alcohol consumption in public spaces remains one of the biggest headaches for our enforcement and our emergency staff.
Smith says in the past 6 months, the city's emergency services received more than 6,000 trauma-related calls, many of them related to alcohol abuse. Smith also pleaded with motorists not to drink and drive as the festive season reaches its peak. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News, at the municipal compound in Ndabeni.
The South African Weather Service has issued several warnings for severe thunderstorms in some parts of the country. Several provinces have been cautioned of heavy downpours, which may lead to localized flooding, damaging winds and a possibility of hail. This weather pattern comes as the country goes through a transition of a weak La Niña event. Forecaster Letlogonolo Thobela told a media briefing earlier today that these conditions are expected to persist into tomorrow.
We have several warnings. Yeah, most of them are for severe thunderstorms, significant mainly over the northern parts of Gauteng into the southwestern parts of Mpumalanga, which also covers the Highveld. It is a yellow level 4 warning, which means it's a low likelihood, but the significant impacts are expected.
And the German government will take in 535 Afghans who have been promised refuge in that country but have been stuck in Pakistan. Berlin says it hopes to have screened and approved refugees in the country by this year's end. They were accepted under a refugee scheme set up by the previous German government but have been stuck in Pakistan since Conservative Chancellor Friedrich Merz took office in May and froze the program. At present, around 1,900 Afghan refugees are in Pakistan awaiting relocation to Germany. Gold is trading at $4,234.34 an ounce. The rand is at 16.76 to the dollar, 22.38 to the pound, 19.67 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $59.64 a barrel.
Midrand bumper-to-bumper traffic heading towards Centurion. This is N1 northbound between Ellendale Road and Samrand. There's also faulty traffic lights in Edenville, Modderfontein Road and Van Riebeeck.
In your sport, England vowed to keep fighting as their Ashes hopes slip away. Black Caps bully the West Indies with 323-run opening stand in their third test. And Nigeria alleged that DR Congo fielded ineligible players in their World Cup playoff.
It's a partly cloudy afternoon in Gauteng with scattered showers and thundershowers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 24 and 26 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The Traditional Affairs Department has criticized illegal initiation schools as the death toll for this summer period climbs to 18.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 3 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us. Welcome to it. My name is Thabo Shola Mashao. I'm in for John Perlman. We're together till 6 and it's afternoon. I'm hoping that we will have a great one and your participation will tell us as much. Remember, we are always keen to know what's happening in and around where you are. In the 702 land, there could be news that we miss simply because we can't be everywhere at all times. So we also rely on you to share with us what is it that is happening around your place. And at times we are alerted by you. Someone may say, there's no water in Sandton. Not that there's no water, but it would be just as an example. There's no water in Sandton. We're battling with traffic wherever, and that helps us to alert the authorities and put a limelight on that. A couple of things that we'll be chatting on the show about this afternoon. The rainy season is here, and it's been here for quite some time, right? And the South African Weather Service has warned that this summer could bring above normal rainfall across Gauteng. And we are expecting a very rainy season because, and it's often referred to as La Niña as opposed to El Niña. El Niña when it's very dry, La Niña when a weather phenomenon when it is a bit wet. Perhaps this has been somehow disturbing your summer. And what is K-flu? It's been spreading around, and apparently in South Africa, we are tasting a little bit of that. We'll speak to Professor Cheryl Cohen, who will give us insights into that. And of course, AFCON, African Cup of Nations, is just on the doorsteps. Bareng Batukor, Just Sports editor and columnist at Sunday Times, will give us insights into AFCON. Who is likely to be a favorite and to walk away with this. 18th of December is the birthday of the late, great Bantu Stephen Biko, and we will touch on his legacy much later on the show. And as I often do, I do not move furniture. Features that you're used to when John is here are also here, like your house, your home. Today we'll be looking at the importance of building plans and why is it important to have building plans for a newly built property. As you may have seen what took place in Verulam, when that temple that was under construction collapsed and killed about 5 people. Who killed DJ Waras continues. We want to know. We are following the story very, very closely. Oren Singh is going to be in studio just to give us heads up. He's been digging a little bit deeper. So all that and more here on the show. 10 minutes after 3. Karabo, the show has officially begun. Indeed.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
The show has begun indeed. I'm laughing simply because I had a conversation with Karabo, our technical producer, prior to the show. And she was indicating to me something right now. But I'll share about that a little bit later on in the show. But I have a question for you. Just to introduce my team in the studio, Garo is pressing buttons. And there's Karabo Charlie, who's going to tell you what's happening on the roads. And Kabazela is on the other side, and he sings for every little thing that I say to him. He will be also joining us a little bit later on the show. He's the producer of the show. Together with Rifuwe, they are putting together this marvelous show for all of us. And of course, you. We can't do it without you. I always say that, and I mean it. And guys, welcome. I hope you're good. Rifue, you good? Garabo, you good?
100%.
Good.
You didn't wait for me to respond.
Oh, sorry.
You said Rifue, then you moved to Karabo.
I was not sure you have to wait for someone to respond once you've asked them how they are. I just move on like that. But now that you've told me, how are you?
I'm good, Godman. How are you doing?
My names keep changing.
Always. And good afternoon to you and to the rest of the 702 La Familia.
Yeah, guys, I have a question for you and everyone who's listening to us right now. Is it good for guys to give women money? To bless them with money, to spoil them with cash. Just giving women money and you like her and you're flirting with her and you're saying, hey, here's $1,000, get yourself something. And next week she says, hey, my cousin is around. Can you do something? And you give her 3,000 rands. And giving women money, blessing them with money, we call it hobecha in a typical South African colloquial. And I don't know what you call it in your language, but blessing women with money, spoiling women with money. I wonder if it's a good thing or not. We're saying that because this has divided a country known as Botswana. The president of Botswana recently encouraged men to give women money. Is even at a dating stage. He says even if the lady leaves you and you gave her money, that is okay. Just let her be, because you are not man enough if you don't give women money. That's what the president says. Maybe let's play that clip, then I'll come to you. He says, just a warning, he's saying all of this in Setswana. I will translate momentarily. So, loosely translated, it is good to bless women with money. Even if you give her money and she leaves you, it's okay. You lose nothing from giving women money. And he goes on to say, if you don't give women money or bless them with money or spoil them with money, you are not man enough. I'm interested in knowing what you have to say. Please let us know on 0727021702. Send your voice notes now. Is this what you would tell your son? He was saying this after a king in the same area was telling guys not to give women money. So he was contradicting the king at that point. Rifue, what do you think?
This is a bit of a controversial sort of, I don't know if I should say topic, but I think my question is, why is it always almost sounds like the pressure's all on the guy to be the one that's badgering. Why can't women also badger the guy? Why can't it be reciprocal? Where, okay, I'm badgering you, you're badgering me back.
Badgering.
Badgering. I think
as in like blessing back.
Okay, I was
badgering
thinking
sounds like, I'm so sorry.
You have killed the entire meaning of this thing.
Badger. Yes, to bless.
Yes.
I think it should go both ways, because it almost feels unfair to put everything on the dude to say, hey, no, but if you're pursuing me, you need to be Santa Claus, you need to be my blesser.
Let me ask you this directly, because I see that we're going around the block. Would you like a guy that you're dating to give you money for nothing every now and then? Say, hey, babes, here's 2,000 rands, here's 10,000 rands, buy yourself something. Would that be nice?
That would be nice, but I would also do the same thing for him.
Why?
Because Lena, he's a king and he deserves something
Oh,
nice.
wow. Okay, king, queen, thank you. Really appreciate it.
Don't you deserve something nice, Tabo?
Yeah, but not money. I don't want ladies
to
give me money.
It doesn't have to be money. It can be maybe you were eyeing a book or something
special. That is okay.
That is still a form of ukbeja.
Yeah.
It translates to money. You bought it. You didn't now find it on the street.
Garabo Charlie, what becha?
No. I keep it. I don't play that game. I will spoil you. If you need money, I will give it to you gladly. We'll see how we go. Why you need the money for?
Do you want the money back?
No, definitely not. But then I wouldn't just give a woman that I'm actually still pursuing or rajola, dating, just money randomly because I'm trying to impress her. I think that is just, It's not my style of. And like, when the president was talking, did you hear the people who were cheering?
Yeah.
It was only women.
I knew you were going there.
It was
I was
only
waiting
women,
for you to
and
go
I'm like,
there.
And Karabo here in studio was also cheering.
Yes, I could hear you. So I don't approve of this just badging things, because I think in the olden days, the men used to work, the ladies used to stay at home and look after the kids. So the men would provide and give the woman the money so that she can handle the household chores. Now, we still have to badger, even if you're also working and having your own dependents and you can do your own nails, your own hair.
Let me ask you this. Would you like a woman to badger? Let's say you're not married, you're not with your person.
No.
If let's say, Karabo, I like your style, I like your groove. Here's 2,000 rand to do something
Go out
nice
to
for
the guys.
yourself.
100%. Why not? I'll gladly take
Oh,
it.
Wabana, but when you don't want to
He's
do the same.
contradicting.
No, I'm not
Karabo.
contradicting. I'm just saying if they want to do that, then it's fine. It's up
But
to
when
them.
you don't do that.
No, maybe
Ladies must pay for nails, hair, all that sort of
if she's
stuff.
working, yes, and if she maybe wants to do her nails,
No, from you. You want it to look good, don't you?
yeah.
So, bitch. Well, the president says, Advocate Duma Boko, the president of Botswana, says that if you're a man like Karabo, you are not man enough.
I listen to the king. Hey, I don't listen to the president. The king said something totally different.
We must find that clip of the king. I can't wait to hear from you. Are you a guy and do you give ladies money? Do you do that? I'd love to hear from you. And ladies, do you want guys to give you money? And bless you just with money. I'd love to hear from you. Send us a voice note on 072-702-1702. 18 minutes after 3 o'clock. And to a guy who doesn't give ladies money, what's happening on the roads?
One thing for sure, I'll give you credible traffic report. And at this stage, not looking too bad. Free-flowing traffic across 702 land at this stage. However, it is peak hour traffic, so you can expect some delays. Let me start in the Hermanstad area. That's Pretoria, leaving the Pretoria CBD. Traffic sluggish. Skiampahlele between Van der Hof and the R80 Midrand. Also bumper-to-bumper traffic. N1 northbound from Allendale to Samrand. And look out for those faulty traffic lights in Bramley at Corlett and Scott. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
You're finally taking your long-awaited break.
You're going to see your family.
And you're saying goodbye for now.
To your 9 to 5.
But you don't have to say goodbye to your favorite talk station.
Talk station.
This festive season, 702 will keep playing your favorite songs.
Having engaging conversations.
And keeping you entertained. So, make sure to sit back,
relax,
and walk the talk with us this festive season.
Download the Prime Media Plus app to make sure you don't miss a single conversation.
Happy holidays
from 702.
Hollywood Bets invites you to drop into summer magic. Play the Spinazonke prize drops and you could win a share of 5 million rand. Simply bet 2 rand or more on selected pragmatic play slots, 10 rand or more on crash, or 100 rand or more on live tables, Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays to enter. Prepare to spin big, make a splash and fall into summer wins. Hollywood Bets, it's more fun to spin with us. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Who says everyday driving can't be très chic? Rent premium with Sani Sixt now. Own the stylish Citroen C3 later. Yes, that's 3 cars, 3 months, 3 chances to say ooh la la. Just book directly on sani.co.za. Call us or rent at any branch between 1 November and 31 January, and you're automatically entered into the draw. Bon voyage with Sani Sixt and win. T's and C's apply.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
There was a forecast out last week from the Bureau for Economic Research indicating for the next 3 years, inflation expectations are now much lower than they were previously.
One of the most important factors contributing towards this has been the extraordinarily strong rand, not only against the US dollar, but against many other currencies. And this is helping to suppress import prices.
Dr. Razar Jameen is Director and Chief Economist at Econometrics.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, accelerating infrastructure-led growth and economic resilience through the South African National Treasury's 11.8 billion rand infrastructure and development finance bond. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
702, welcome back, Thabo, and we're together till 6 o'clock. Great having you with us. And I was just remarking earlier on that a La Nina event is a climate pattern that occurs when ocean temperatures in the central and eastern Pacific Ocean become cooler than usual. But I know very little about this because I was not listening in the geography class. But here's an expert who understands these matters a little bit more. Professor Guy Mitchley, Stellenbosch University School for Climate Studies Director. Prof, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon to you.
Thanks so much for having me. It's a great pleasure.
Yeah, great. And we are all
Please
worried.
Call me Guy. Yeah? Please call me Guy. Don't call me Prof.
I appreciate it. It makes it even much easier. Thank you so much. Guy, in this instance, a lot of us have been complaining about a very wet summer. And apparently this condition or this event is known as La Nina. Please explain that to us in layman's terms.
Well, very simply, the La Nina and El Nino conditions are, it's a climate status that affects the tropics and the subtropics. So from the equator, north and south, to the subtropical areas, probably as far down as the Cape. And it's just an oscillation. So it's a weather status that can either be in one state or between the two states or in the other state. And in general, what happens is when you have La Nina states, most of summer rainfall, Southern Africa gets wetter than normal. And when you're in an El Nino state, most of Southern Africa's summer rainfall area gets drier. So that's roughly what happens. But it's a global phenomenon that affects the tropics, basically.
Sure. How long does this phenomena last? The entire summer, or does it go a little beyond? And how intense does it get?
Well, it can get intense on both sides. So you can get a very intense dry conditions and very intense wet conditions. In general, the idea is that the oscillation is every 5 to 7 years. So it goes up and down, but it's not really a cycle. It's called a pseudo cycle. So it can flip up and down. And for example, we've had La Nina conditions for quite a few years now. We've been flipping down to La Nina and up to neutral. The last time we had a serious El Nino was in 2015, 16. That was a dry period. And then since then, we've generally had slightly wetter than normal. But by the first quarter of next year, we should be in neutral conditions again. And the models are predicting El Nino towards the end of next year. So, enjoy the rain while it lasts, because it might be very dry by the end of next year.
And above normal rainfalls, that's what we are supposed to expect?
That's right. I mean, in the Southern African climate system, there's no such thing as an average year. Yeah. No 2 years are the same. It's very variable. So, when people say the average rainfall for Joburg is X, you'll never find a single year with that rainfall. Not one.
Yeah.
It'll always be somewhere around there and sometimes very far from there. And that's a characteristic of the subtropics. Yeah. We have a variable climate. And, it affects agriculture, it affects our ecosystems, it affects human health and well-being. And it's a big part of how we have to deal with climate. Unfortunately, because so much effort has been focused on climate change and the modeling of climate change, we've sort of dropped the ball a little bit on these decadal pseudo-cycles, which are really quite important for us at the short and medium-term timescale. So we at the School for Climate Studies are very interested in these timescales, and we're trying to do something much more actionable at these timescales.
Now, I'm going to ask you to put your textbooks together with your crystal ball and maybe give us some indication as to how long will this last in South Africa, specifically in Gauteng, if you can, because many of us are complaining about the rain that is really impeding on some of our plans?
Sure. What the models are telling us, the international models, is that we should be trending back to neutral conditions somewhere in the first quarter of next year. So, it's likely still to be a little bit wetter than normal for several more weeks. And then all the indications are that we trend back to close to normal. And then, as I said, risk of somewhat drier than normal towards the end of next year. The problem is that the projections change as time goes by.
Yes.
It's very difficult to predict too far into the future.
Yeah.
But in general, we've got a pretty good handle on projecting El Nino and La Nina in the summer rainfall parts of southern Africa. That's those models are getting better and better.
With La Nina now, are there any specific patterns? And I know it's difficult with the weather, Guy, as you've already said. But,
Sure.
I mean, do we have any, perhaps, patterns that we can look at and say it might rain twice a week for the next 8 weeks to 12 weeks or so? Or we just wing it along as we go?
That's extremely difficult to do. Because it all depends on where the moisture is coming from. Is it coming from the Indian Ocean? Is it coming off the Atlantic Ocean? That depends on how the circulation patterns are changing. So this is a constantly changing sort of a story. But one of the most important things is what is the surface temperature of the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic. Yeah. But so the Indian Ocean also has an oscillation called the Indian Ocean Dipole, and that interacts with the La Nina and El Nino cycle, so it creates a slightly more complicated pattern for us. And these are sorts of things that we really need to understand better for being able to make important projections of rainfall for people like farmers and city planners and that sort of thing. So we need to get into that space much more effectively.
A bit controversially, are we not complicating all these unpredictable weather conditions with tendencies of cloud seeding and the likes? Are we not complicating matters?
That's an excellent question. Excellent question. South Africa actually developed all the cloud seeding technology. We gave it away at the end of the 90s. And so many countries have benefited. Look, cloud seeding doesn't really affect, I would say, long-term climate patterns. What it does do is it can increase rainfall over smaller regions for short periods of time. It's very effective that way. I mean, for example, the Chinese used cloud seeding before the last Olympic Games to clear the air and to help get rid of pollution very effectively. So, and there are a lot of countries around the world that are using cloud seeding in different ways. So I think it's about 20 or 25 countries around the world are using this technology, which we developed.
Guy, thanks so much for your time. I could go on and on with this discussion for some time, but we've run out of time completely. Really appreciate it. Professor Guy Mitchley, Stellenbosch University School for Climate Studies Director. 29 minutes after 3 o'clock. If you'd like to contribute, ask questions, or maybe add your worth to the discussion, feel free to do so at any given time on 072 702 1702, or you could just call us directly on 011 883 0702, exactly 3:30. Mbali Dlamini standing by with Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon, Mbali. Welcome.
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to study the interim report of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. This is while the commission prepares to hear further testimony from new witnesses when its work resumes next year. Ramaphosa has now received the commission's interim report exactly 3 months after the inquiry into alleged corruption in the country's criminal justice system started its work. The presidency has confirmed that only the final report will be made public, but the president says he does expect the commission to refer any evidence deemed criminal to the NPA. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
The president has expressed his appreciation for the interim report, as well as his expectation that the commission will, as part of its terms of reference, refer actions thought to be criminal acts for prosecution.
Authorities are still searching for a builder of a collapsed temple in KwaZulu-Natal where 5 people died. The 4-story structure caved in last week in Verulam when it suffered a structural failure. Yesterday, the Council for the Built Environment released an interim report showing irregularities in the construction of the temple. The report found the construction was unlawful with no approved building plans or any other required authorization. Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Dean McPherson says the builder has to be found.
It has also been observed that substandard concrete material and substandard reinforced columns were used. It is vitally important, therefore, that we urgently track down the supplier and builder that used this material to stop this from happening anywhere else. We have been unable to do so, but we are working around the clock to track them down.
And teachers in the UK will get training on how to spot the early signs of misogyny in boys. The training will include lessons on how to talk to learners about issues such as consent and the dangers of sharing intimate images. The range of measures have been put in place as part of government's long-awaited strategy to end violence against women and girls. The Department of Education commissioned research which surveyed school teachers and found that 70% of their schools had actively dealt with sexual violence and or harassment between children. It's a cloudy afternoon in Gauteng today with scattered showers and thundershowers expected. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 24 and 26 degrees.
Well, at this stage, Hermanstad leaving the Pretoria CBD, traffic remains sluggish. This is on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and the R80 Midrand, heading towards Centurion. Bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is on the N1 northbound from Ellendale to Samrand.
The top story in EWN this hour. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to study the interim report of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
As the authorities in Joburg, this cannot be allowed to happen. What are you doing about it?
We might have to change some tunes now because we have to go to right into the neck of these things because there are 2 gangs there that are really operating within the city and sponsored by some Zamazama kingpins. And this information I'm telling you now is the fresh information from the JMPD TRU that is working 24 hours looking for these actually guys.
Dr. Mtini Chwaku.
The Midday Report.
With Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Team, summer is game time in Mzansi. Every tap, scan, swipe, it all adds up. And FNB is giving us big rewards, partner deals, e-bucks, defense tips, and chances to score experiences money can't buy. But you're only in the game if you paid with FNB. So stay sharp, spend clever, and let's dominate. Get in the game with FNB. Help changes everything. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider. NCRCP 20. T's and C's, earn rules and limits apply.
At Checkers, we do more so you get extra this Christmas. With festive savings like Excella sunflower oil 2 litres, 2 for 129 Rand. And Clover cheddar or Gouda cheese 800 grams, 2 for 199 Rand. Plus, stand a chance to win your share of 7 million Rand in prizes. Simply buy any 3 qualifying products and swipe your extra savings card to enter. Valid until Sunday, only at Checkers Hyper. T&Cs apply.
Naked people never skip leg day because naked people spend less time on insurance admin and more time at the gym. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good afternoon, John and 702 listeners. This president of Botswana, no. This is a no. Akazelana simnikeze isibindi sengwenya, aphalaze. Not about always pampering money. No. If yes, she needs that money for something, yes, I can give her money. Not always money raining on her for just to impress her. The day you will not have that money, she will be moody, she will leave you. So president akazelana simnikeze isibindi sengwenya, aphalaze abe right. Anonymous, Bedford View.
Right, Chabo. If you are not badgering,
a lady can leave you for that. We want money. If you don't give us money, we are not happy. When you give us money, we are happy. Every woman loves money. We want money.
Good afternoon, Tabo. Yes, I do agree to a degree with the president of Botswana. However, some women do not deserve to be given money. Some of these women are very wasteful. They're not responsible with money. Those shouldn't be given money, or you give them very little. Yeah. Great show, Tabo. Thank you.
Hi, Tabo. These men sounds quite a bit. I mean, come on. Men are supposed to be provided. So they mustn't be stingy. It would be nice every now and then, not every month, just every now and then for Ambedge. Thank you, Dineo Pretoria.
Yeah, I mean, we were asking earlier on, the advocate Duma Gideon-Boko of Botswana was saying that women must be given money by men, and men must just pop out money, spoil ladies with money, and if you don't do that, you're not a real man. And I'm paraphrasing and translating, I suppose, inefficiently, but that's just the meaning thereof. And I wanted to know from you, if you're a guy, do you give ladies money, especially the ones that you like, or do you, like Mr. Charlie over here, say, no way, no money from me? I'd love to hear from you. 011-883-0702. Let us know. Alternatively, you could also call us directly on 011-883-0702, 072-702-1702. 23 minutes to 4 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
With Tolagele Mganga, she'll tell us what's the latest in the world of sports. Good afternoon, Tolagele.
Afternoon, Tabo. England reached stumps on day 2 of the third test on 213 for 8 to trail by 158 runs. That's after Australia were all out for 371 in their first innings. Ben Stokes and Harry Brook, both on 45, will resume their innings in the morning, while Pat Cummins has so far taken 3 for 54. Sneko continues to dominate this match. That's after England wicketkeeper Jamie Smith was twice involved in contentious decisions. And bowling coach Marcus Truskothic has provided this assessment of the technology.
It is what it is. I think we know, it's going to be around, and we just need to make it as consistent as we can do. It's not an ideal scenario. We've been on the back end of poor ones yesterday, and a few ones that you sort of question over the course of today. So it's still it's up for the powers that be behind the scenes to try and work that out. But as players, we've just got to trust in the process of what the ICC, the match referees, the umpires and everybody sort of officiating on this game, to look after.
Devon Conway and Tom Latham shared New Zealand's second highest opening partnership in Test cricket as they dominated the West Indies. That's on day 1 of the third Test. The openers put on 323 for the first wicket before the Black Caps eventually closed on 334 for 1. Their partnership is the joint 12th highest opening stand in men's Test cricket and the 8th stand of 300 for any wicket for New Zealand. Over to the Carabao Cup, where the semi-finals will see Newcastle United facing off with Manchester City, while Chelsea will lock horns with either Arsenal or Crystal Palace. Pep Guardiola's team booked their spot in the last 4 following a 2-0 quarter-final win over Brentford.
It's not easy to play, and we struggle in certain moments to that, but who is not struggling with Brentford, right? So it's difficult, tough, but we didn't concede much chances against, and we controlled the game without a false 9, without proper striker. First Ryan, after Phil, after Tijani, to try to make a lot of passes, a lot of runners from behind. And they read really well, and we deserve, be in semi-final.
And Nigeria have submitted a petition to FIFA alleging that the Democratic Republic of Congo fielded ineligible players in their 2026 World Cup African qualification playoff. As a result of that win, DR Congo will compete in an interconfederation playoff in March, where 6 teams will chase 2 places at next year's tournament. Meanwhile, the NFF believed that several dual nationality players had been cleared to play for DR Congo without meeting the required criteria, allegations that DR Congo's federation have rejected. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
With Mr. K, he'll tell us what's happening on our roads as the year is winding down. lesser and lesser people going to work. Kids are definitely at home. How do the roads look, man?
Yeah, fairly quiet at this hour. I must say, nothing much happening on our roads. No accidents have been reported. That's a good thing, touch wood. At this stage, in Derteport, slow-moving traffic on the N1 southbound between Sifakomahata Drive and Sturmville. In Hermanstad, leaving the Pretoria CBD, traffic a bit sluggish on Eskiam Patlele. Between Van der Hof and the R80, and in Midrand, bumper-to-bumper traffic heading towards Centurion. N1 northbound from Ellendale to Samrand. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 Podcast.
On PrimeMediaPlus.com.
19 minutes to 4 o'clock. Tabo for John. We're together till 6 o'clock. And if you've just joined us, welcome. Where have you been? We've missed you, but you're in time for the rest of the show. Earlier on, we asked, after having heard from the president of Botswana, Advocate Doma Gideon Boko, was saying that ladies must be given money by men. And if you're a guy, you don't give ladies money, you're not man enough. Maybe you'd think that I'm making this up, right? Let me just play it. He says this in Setswana, though. I'll translate thereafter.
gongwe re ruta bana re betšha mon betšha la gore se ga o sena go betšha ga wa jewa o betšhitse go siame go betšha go siame gape go monate.
He says it is nice to bless women with money and it is okay to do so. And if you give women money, you have really lost nothing and you're not man enough if you do not bless or spoil ladies with money. Tholakele Mganga, we have been awaiting your pearls of wisdom for the longest of times. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Tabo. The Bible does say the man is the leader of the home. And if the Prime Minister says men must badger a woman, let her be badgered.
You know, and he's saying that. I've been looking for this clip, which I can't get, from, I think, Hosi someone in Botswana. I forget the name, but she's a lady. And the Hosi then says to guys, stop giving women money. That's the lady who says that. She says, stop giving women money, guys, because you should be looking after yourselves, improving yourselves, developing yourselves. And these women are really going to mess you up. Rather focus on yourselves. Immediately after that, then the president stepped on the podium, contradicting what Hosi had said completely. So the Gara was saying earlier on that he doesn't do that. He doesn't spoil ladies with money. Actually,
I would hope not. He is a fairly married man.
Yeah, but I mean, I assume his wife is a woman as well. I'm guessing.
At that point, it's community of property. It's not even badging.
It's not even badging.
Yeah, I give her money for groceries.
That doesn't count, guys. Groceries doesn't count. Yeah. So, but I mean, would you give a guy money?
Why?
Oh, whoa. Excuse us.
Maybe to pay for parking.
No.
And then
10 rands.
Even I know places where you can get parking for 5 rand. Not like put it in the budget, but to help you with things.
Yeah.
But also, it's not like I'm paying 100%. Get out 20%. I'll give you 100 rand here, 200 rand there.
Isn't that also perpetuating gender stereotypes when we expect men to give ladies money?
I mean, I don't know how people individually feel about it, but for me, if we're going to do this life thing together, I need you to help me do this life thing.
No, you're just dating. You're starting off, you're in the talking stages. Oh, now you must be helped with life thing, go dating stages, talking stages.
Let's say we go to a place where it's a little bit further for me than it is for you.
Yeah.
Assist me with something. Get me an Uber there.
Guys.
Tabo, where do you stand on this?
No.
You seem very anti-giving women money.
I am anti-giving.
I
am.
That's why he's fighting so hard.
I am. I'm thinking the president is completely mistaken on this.
Why are you anti-giving women money?
Are we not in an equal partnership?
But don't you want me to look soft?
Don't
you want to take
what
care
if
of me?
you end
Don't you
far
want to
better than me?
That doesn't matter.
Oh, still.
I need to Baba Wasekaya. Show off that if you agree to this partnership lasting long term, you can take care of me. I don't want to be living a life where I'm constantly always responsible.
But women always have problems. Copa favor. Karabo was saying earlier on.
We're
You just
problems.
meet a woman now. Can I please?
You just say
do you
hi.
mind?
You just say hi. She goes hi. You're like, oh, you're looking pretty. It's like, oh, thank you. Can you do me a favor?
You say hi. She wants a favor.
But I tell you, when I up there, don't
next.
The last time, remember, you were like, I bought this woman a drink.
Hey, man, that got into serious trouble.
Yeah, you see? Yes. Stop right there.
No, that other one, I didn't even know her, and I didn't even take. But I'm just saying, generally, I don't.
Okay.
You love getting me into trouble.
I believe you.
You just love getting me into trouble. And I was in serious trouble for that one. Very serious trouble. 14 minutes to 4 o'clock.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Good afternoon, Tabo. Regarding the issue of giving a lady money, for me, it's a no. Because I found out that she's playing an online betting. I can't mention the companies. So for me right now, I don't give her money. When she wants food, I buy her food. When she wants clothes, I buy her clothes. When she wants money for transport, I will see what I can do. I request Uber for her. No money for me. No.
How do you do that? So you'd rather you share the money that you have and rather than just giving her money? Well, I'd love to hear from you. 072 702 1702. 13 minutes to 4.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
I don't know if you've picked it up. There are various flus that are making their rounds in and around Gauteng, I assume, because that's where I reside. But a number of people have been speaking about K-flu. And so we've decided to bring in an expert so that we don't play a guessing game with your health and speculate on things that we know very little about, and rather speak to a clued up individual and someone who is highly informed on these matters. Hence, we've invited Professor Cheryl Cohen to come and speak to us about this very important matter of K-flu. And Prof. Cohen is the head of the Center of Respiratory Diseases and Meningitis. And Prof joins us right now. Prof, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me.
I definitely don't like playing Russian roulette with people's health, and hence we invited you, Prof, so that we don't spread news that are inaccurate. Please share a bit about K-flu, and please explain to us what are the do's and don'ts around that.
So K-flu is really, it's a colloquial term, right, for flu, but it's really a name for a particular strain of influenza that's circulating right now, and particularly, in fact, circulating in the northern hemisphere. So the northern hemisphere is going into their winter. So United States, yes. Europe, those countries are going into their winter, and this is the strain that's circulating right now. There are different kinds of influenza strains that circulate every year, and this is one of the normal ones. It's called influenza A H3N2. That's its proper name. And this virus, I think most of your listeners will know that flu is quite a special virus in that it's one of those viruses that are constantly evolving and changing. So your listeners will know that flu comes around every year, and it's not like some diseases where you have it once and you never get it again. You can get flu this year and you can get it next year. And one of the reasons for this is that in the normal situation, flu is constantly changing, and so the flu that comes around this year is different to the flu that came last year, and so your body can still be susceptible to it. Now, this K strain is the strain of flu that's circulating this year, and it is changed from the strain we saw in previous years, and now every year the strain changes, and this one has a few more changes than we've seen for a while. So it is quite different from the strain that we saw last year. And so as a result of this, it is causing right now quite a lot of influenza in the northern hemisphere particularly. And so they are seeing their flu season. It's come a few weeks earlier than usual, and it is, because it's earlier, it's at a higher level than they normally see at this time of the year. So it is a new flu strain.
Yes.
It is a bit different from the strain before, and it is spreading at quite high levels right now.
Prof, share the differences, please, for us.
So it's not different from normal flu. It is just a normal flu strain. What is special about it is that it's changed a little bit to be able to evade the normal defenses in the host. So in fact, even in South Africa, we did see, you mentioned that even in Joburg, we've been seeing quite a bit of flu. Now, normally in Joburg, it's summer now, right? So our flu normally comes in the winter. But we have even been seeing this K flu towards the end of our flu season. We saw a little bump up, not a huge increase, a small increase in flu in the last few weeks in our summer, and that was because this strain was even here in South Africa and which was circulating, but now we see it going down again. Because it's our summer, we expect it to go down, and it is going down. But it causes a normal flu, fever and body pains is the main sign, and it's not different from normal flu, but it is circulating at quite high levels, and there's a bit of concern, I think, in the northern hemisphere because it's slightly different from the strain we saw last year and slightly different from the strain that was included in the vaccine that they're using.
And this strain, Prof, is it somehow resistant to normal flu medication, especially over the counter? Or, yeah.
So what's very important about the strain is that there's no suggestion that it's more severe than a normal flu strain.
Okay.
It's spreading at high levels because there's less population immunity for it. But in terms of the treatment of influenza, the normal treatments should work just the same as usual. And they've looked at the strain. There's no evidence that the normal flu treatments don't work. So the normal things you do for flu, if you're sick, you must stay home. Obviously, prevent spreading it to other people, but also really important to rest and take over-counter medications for your symptoms. And if you're really worried, go and see a doctor. But it's not more severe than any other strain that we see.
And I ask about resistance to medication because I heard you saying that it is trying, it's in a new form, trying perhaps to evade the immune system and that the host would have had in order to protect itself from this kind of flu. And so, but normal things like bed rest, chicken soup, and over-the-counter medication, will those do a trick?
Absolutely, they'll do the trick. And your question is a good one, right? Yeah. I think it's always important when we think about viruses. There's two parts. One is it more severe and does the treatment work? And in this case, all of that is it's not more severe and the treatment works. But the other is about how infectious is it and how likely are we to catch it? And that's where this virus, people are worried you might be more likely to catch it. Even if you had the flu last year, you can catch this one again because this virus is slightly different to the strain from last year. There are some concerns also in the northern hemisphere. They're monitoring carefully to what extent the vaccine is going to be effective this year. Early data suggests that the flu vaccine that they're using in the northern hemisphere is effective, but maybe just a little bit less than it would be in a year where it was well matched. So there's not a very good match between the virus that's circulating and the vaccine, but it is still effective, the vaccine.
Who's most vulnerable?
So that's really important. I mean, we've all had the flu, right? But certain groups are much more vulnerable to develop severe disease, and this is particularly elderly people over the age of 65. Pregnant women can get severe flu, and also young babies, and also people with underlying illnesses like heart disease, lung disease, people living with HIV, people with tuberculosis. So these are the most vulnerable people, and these are the people we recommend to get the flu vaccine. But right now, it's not the flu season. It's actually the end of our flu season. So the flu vaccine is not available in South Africa now because it's a new vaccine that's made every year. The vaccine that we get should become available next year around March and April, and all those people I've mentioned, people with underlying illnesses, elderly people, should really at that time be going to the clinic to get their flu vaccines to protect them for the flu season. But now is not the right time for that, so they should go in the new year.
Back to the masks, you think, Prof?
So certainly it's not indicated for us now, right? As I mentioned, this is a normal strain of flu. It's certainly not a pandemic virus, but absolutely masks can work and can particularly help the reduce the risk of you spreading to other people. And it's not the good thing about masks. They don't only work for flu; they work for any respiratory virus. So if you are sick and you do have to go out and interact with people, wearing a mask is a really good idea. It's in terms of being considerate to others and reducing the spread of viruses. And certainly masks can always help to overall reduce the burden of disease. But certainly right now there's no need for universal masks, really only if you're sick.
I'm going to ask you to bear with me as I ask you a very elementary question, just as a reminder, because for ordinary folks like myself, at times this goes over our heads. We somehow conflate these definitions. Colds and flu. The difference again, Prof?
Yeah, absolutely. So cold is a word for lots of different respiratory infections that can be caused by respiratory viruses, and it's typically a runny nose, coughing. You can feel quite sick, and there are lots of different viruses that can cause what we call is the common cold, and obviously it can be quite severe. And there's no way to tell which virus is causing it without a test. Flu is really the word we use for the disease caused by a virus called influenza, and influenza is a bit special because it's more likely to cause severe disease, especially in those risk groups. It's more likely to make you really have a fever and be very, very sick that you can't go to work, or even cause pneumonia. But it's really, the term is used in terms of the name of the actual virus that's causing the disease. But of course, the only way you know if you've actually got flu is if you have a flu test. Most of us don't often get the test, but if you have a high fever and bad body pains, it might well be the flu.
Before I say goodbye in about 40 seconds, Prof, you did say that the vaccine is not available or easily available at this particular point. Preventative measures that we could take, especially for those of us who'd be working on radio for the season that's remaining.
So that's very important, right? So all the preventive measures we know from COVID work for all respiratory viruses. So as you mentioned, wearing a mask can be helpful. Washing your hands is really important. The common place we get viruses from is from surfaces that other people have touched and not washed their hands. So washing your hands regularly. Keep away from people who have the flu, and tell your colleagues who do have the flu or have respiratory illness, they need to stay home. Good ventilation, being outdoors if you can be outdoors rather than indoors. All those basic principles that we know so well, that's really how we reduce the spread of respiratory viruses.
On that note, I will tell our producer, Jonathan Feben Kabazela, to stay at home. Prof, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Professor Cheryl Cohen, head of the Center of Respiratory Diseases and Meningitis. It's exactly 2 minutes to 4 o'clock.
In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says he expects the Madlanga Commission to refer any evidence deemed criminal to the NPA. Ramaphosa has now received the Commission's interim report exactly 3 months after the inquiry into alleged corruption in the country's criminal justice system started. The Commission has heard from 37 witnesses and will hear from more people in the new year. The report on allegations of corruption and interference will not be made public.
The President has expressed his appreciation for the interim report.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Your Christmas isn't complete without Checkers mince pies. Checkers does more, so you get extra indulgence this festive season. Bring a touch of traditional and warmth to any festive occasion with the limited edition traditional festive fruit mince pies. 6-pack from 59 Rand 99 per 6-pack. I had a taste of this. I must share with this. The mince pies are my absolute favorite. It's almost like you're eating some chutney mixed with raisins. It is just yummy. I always look forward to this season. We had this with my team the other day. Refuwe and Jono and everyone else in the office. We had stunning mince pies, and I can't wait to have more. So this just reminded me that we had mince pies from Checkers. I'd love to have more, definitely. And each pie is crafted with a crisp, buttery crust that provides a satisfying texture with every bite, and filled with fruity mince and bursting with the seasonal spice notes that evoke the essence of the festive season. There are also other variants of mince pies available, such as limited edition blueberry mince pie. I didn't know that. I must get that. I love blueberry. Blueberry mince pies, limited edition fig and chocolate mince pies, and limited edition gluten-free mince pies. This limited edition festive season won't last long, so grab one at your nearest Checkers Hyper or Checkers food store, or get it delivered to your doorstep in 60 minutes with 60/60. Checkers is making sure your Christmas is better and better. I'm definitely getting myself this.
Hi, I'm in grade 6 at Crawford International, and I'm already building my future. At Crawford, we don't just learn, we prepare for the world ahead. By grade 10, I can choose from a range of subjects in any combination. With experienced teachers, amazing extracurriculars, and AI-driven support, I'm set up to excel in everything, from maths to public speaking. Book your personalized tour. Crawford International, building global leaders.
You could spend 10 minutes on social media or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For his 2024 GWMP series, 54-year-old Amos now pays only 1,004 Rand a month. And for his 2024 Toyota Urban Cruiser, 55-year-old Andre pays just 776 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online. This is EWN.
The KZN High Court rules against the eThekwini municipality and COCTA concerned by deaths of 18 initiates during the season. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. The KwaZulu-Natal High Court says the eThekwini municipality failed to manage sewage spilling into the city's beaches and violated several environmental legislations in the process. The ruling was handed down earlier today in Pietermaritzburg. It came as a result of a court challenge by the DA, which accused the municipality of failing to maintain its water treatment works, resulting in large-scale sewage spills into Durban's rivers and other tributaries that led to the ocean. Thabiso Koba has more.
In April 2022, KwaZulu-Natal was hit by devastating floods, with eThekwini experiencing the most damage. Several of the municipality's infrastructure, including its wastewater treatment works, were severely damaged as a result. In court papers, the municipality says it has done all in its power and strained finances to manage the fallout from those floods. However, in a unanimous judgment handed down by 3 High Court judges, it was found the municipality repeatedly breached several sections of the National Environmental Management Act. The judgment lists at least 7 directives issued by senior government departments that the eThekwini municipality failed to comply with. This included the failure to prevent pollution of Umgeni River through sewage spills. The municipality was also found in breach of the National Water Act by not satisfactorily complying with the directive to resolve pollution emanating from its waterworks. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
Let's stay with water-related issues in KZN. Bulk water supplier Umgeni Utugela has detected elevated levels of iron and manganese in one of its dams. But the utility has assured residents the detection poses no health risk. It says water quality results from the Harding Dam show results higher than the specific limits for iron and manganese content. The Harding Dam supplies water to parts of the Ugu District municipality on the south coast. Spokesperson for Umgeni Utugela Water, Siyabonga Mapumulo, says the water still remains safe for human consumption.
The elevated iron and manganese levels in the final water are a direct result of increased concentrations of these elements in the raw water resources at Harding Dam. Current water quality results indicate that while the final water is out of specification in terms of the limits for iron and manganese, it fully complies with the prescribed health limits as per SANS 241 standards. The water therefore remains safe for consumption.
To this now, the Traditional Affairs Department has criticized illegal initiation schools as the death toll for this summer period climbs to 18. Since the end of the school calendar, young boys from the Eastern Cape have been undergoing traditional coming-of-age initiation practices. Part of the initiation process includes circumcision at camps usually located in secluded areas in the mountains. The Eastern Cape government says negligence and dehydration are some of the major causes causes of initiation deaths. Spokesperson for the department, Pearl Masego Bingose, has called on traditional leaders to work with government to close down illegal initiation schools.
These tragic deaths are not caused by culture, but by illegal initiation schools, unqualified practitioners, neglect, dehydration, and abuse, among other things. The minister extends his heartfelt condolences to the families and communities who have lost their loved ones during this period of mourning and pain.
A petition calling for tougher law enforcement against reckless driving has garnered more than 4,000 signatures. The appeal comes after a cyclist was killed in a car crash along Victoria Road in Camps Bay earlier this week in the Western Cape. His close friend started the petition, and saying cyclists are legitimate road users and should not be on the pavement. Camray Clark has more.
Aidan Erasmus was among the first people on the scene of the crash that claimed the life of his friend, Idris Sheriff. He says at the time he had no idea who the victim was.
I walked past it and everything had been kind of contained, and I didn't see any familiar bikes at first. And then later on, when we were having coffee, a friend tried to call Idris' cell phone, and obviously someone at the scene picked it up, and that's kind of how we heard about what happened.
The driver, Bongani Mtetwa, was arrested and faces charges of culpable homicide. He has been released on 15,000 rand bail and will be back in court in April next year. Camray Clark, Eyewitness News.
And the German government will be taking in 535 Afghans who have been promised refuge in the country but have been stuck in Pakistan. Berlin says it hopes to have screened and approved refugees in the country by the end of the year. They were accepted under a refugee scheme set up by the previous German government but have been stuck in Pakistan since a new leader took office in May and froze the program. At present, around 1,900 Afghan refugees are in Pakistan awaiting relocation to Germany. Gold is trading at $4,234.35 an ounce. The rand is at 16.76 to the dollar, 22.37 to the pound, 19.64 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $59.67 a barrel.
Slow-moving traffic in the Dertdeport area. This is on the N1 southbound between Sefako Makhato Drive and Sturmville Hermanstad. We still have slow-moving traffic on Eskiam Patlele between Van der Hof and the R80 Midrand. Also slow-moving traffic N1 North. This is between Ellendale and Samrand.
In your sport, England vowed to keep fighting as their Ashes hopes slip away. Black Caps bully the West Indies with 323-run opening stand in their third test. And Nigeria alleged that DR Congo fielded ineligible players in their World Cup playoff.
A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with scattered showers and thundershowers expected. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 15 degrees, peaking at a high of 25. Pretoria 17 and 27, and Vereeniging a low of 16 and a high of 26 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The KZN High Court says the eThekwini municipality failed to manage sewage spilling into the city's beaches and violated several environmental legislations in the process.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
7:02
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 4 o'clock. Welcome back. You're on Afternoon Drive. Thabo Mashao. In for John. We're together till 6. Great having you with us. In the previous hour, we touched a little bit on the phenomenon of El Nino versus La Niña. And those are the different weather patterns. And apparently in Gauteng, well, not just Gauteng, but the southern part of the hemisphere, we will be experiencing a lot of rains, above normal rains, and that's as a result of that weather pattern. And we had a quick chat with Professor Cheryl Cohen about K-flu. How is it manifesting itself? What can we do to prevent it from taking residence in our bodies? and we touched on that. I thought that was a very informative discussion with Prof. Cohen round about that. But if you missed any of those, feel free to go to primemediaplus.com for any interviews that you might have missed and the segments that were playing as you were somehow occupied. But now that you're here, just so that you know, in a short while we'll speak AFCON, African Cup of Nations. Barengba Tokorjas, popularly known as BBK, will just take us through the politics of sports and also who's likely to take it. I want to press him on that. And we will also touch on the 18th of December, remembering Steve Biko with Nelvis Lekema, the president of Azanian People's Organization. And I did ask you earlier on your thoughts on what President of Botswana had to say. Advocate Duma Gideon Boko saying and giving out an instruction to Botswana, at least Botswana men, to give ladies money. What do you say about that? Feel free to share your thoughts on 072 702 1702. 10 after 4.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Afternoon, Tibos and the group or the crew. Pat here from Sprayview. My question is, ladies, would you marry a poor guy? I know most of you, the answer will be no. Why not? But I can tell you, a guy will marry a poor lady easily. I think most of you guys, I'm sorry ladies, you are really selfish, I must tell you. Not all of you, but most of you are selfish. And that is due respect.
Hi, 702. I will not share nothing, absolutely nothing for any woman. You give me money, I give you money. If you have a standard to maintain, not at my expense. The only person that I will give me money is my mother. This thing of meeting and the next thing you have problems, those are not my problems, they are problems. Nothing. Money for what? Money for what or to do what? Then that one is a red flag. I run for my life. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zero. Period.
Well, ladies, I do not want to speak on your behalf. If you disagree with what's being said, you know how to reach us. 072 702 1702, 12 minutes after 4.
EWN Traffic.
With the factual, accurate, and ever so sharp Karabo Charlie, he'll tell us what is happening on the roads. Karabs, what's up?
Well, at this stage, if you're leaving the Pretoria CBD, there's slow-moving traffic. Hermanstad, Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and the R18. In Kempton Park, also expect some delays on Pretoria Road between CR Swart and Plain Road. Heading in and out of the Joburg CBD, there's slow-moving traffic. Now, this is in the Selby area on Main Reef Road between Anderson and Nasrec Road. And in Midrand, traffic remains heavily backed up N1 northbound between Ellendale and Samrand. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 Podcast
on primemediaplus.com.
13 minutes after 4 o'clock, the 2025 African Cup of Nations is about to kick off. And as always, the tournament arrives filled with expectations, pedigree, and long-held assumptions are ready to be challenged. It's not only what's happening on the football pitch that matters, but also outside of that. And someone to give us true insights from experience, expertise is BBK. He's joining us to give us and share some bit of elucidation on the matters, all matters African Cup of Nations. He's sports editor and columnist at Sunday Times. BBK, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you and your listeners, Tabo. Thank you for inviting us.
Thanks for making time. I was just saying earlier on that it's not necessarily about the team that can perform best on the field, BBK, I suppose, and you will let us know and correct me if I'm mistaken. It's also about the teams that can take the pressure, because this is a tournament. It needs a certain element of strategy and tactics as well.
Indeed, most so. It is a pressure cooker, this 35th edition of the AFCON that is going to get underway in Morocco on Sunday when the host nation takes on Comoros. It is a field where there are no teams that have got a given or a bad right to win. It does not matter whether you are Egypt, you have won it 7 times looking for your 8th title here, or whether you are Cameroon, who've won it 5 times, or whether you are Morocco themselves, who have only won a Champions League, Africa Cup of Nations title to their name. That was way back in 1974. Most certainly for us, it is what do we do now that since 1996, the trophy that Clive Barker, bless his soul, and his boys were able to give us, it's been lonely. It's been a lonely sibling. It needs a companion. And after what we did with Hugo Bruce at Ivory Coast for the first time in 24 years, finishing in the semi-finals and coming back home with a bronze medal, hopefully this time around we can go all the way. Hope springs eternal, Thabo.
And Bafana, with that particular hope that springs eternal, BBK, that you so assert, are we far stronger than we would have been a couple of years back? Are we getting into it a bit more ready, a bit more formidable?
I would answer in the affirmative, because when you go back to Ivory Coast, we arrived there as a bunch of no-hopers, and I think that a few would have forgotten the infamous description of Bafana by the former sport minister, Fikile Mbalula, calling them a bunch of losers.
Yes.
That would have been an apt description of the team, because they were not just a bunch of losers, they were hopeless. They couldn't beat themselves in a paper bag. They did not inspire any fear on anyone. Then May 21st, 2021, and this man called Hugo Bruce comes as announced by the South African Football Association as the new man at the helm of Bafana. He came, he thought he was going to start with a brand new team of youngsters and all of that, but quickly discovered that South Africa needs to use that which Spain did when they looked at Barcelona as the basis of their core in the team. Barcelona having done so well in the Champions League in the UEFA, and looking at Sundowns and them being the forever present in the Champions League semi-finals, quarter-finals, and then using that as the bulk of the team. We also, the journey that has come through, him having the eye of unearthing guys like Abos Pepelo, Sitole coming through to the team, him having faith in people who are not even playing for the so-called traditional teams like your Kaizer Chiefs and your Orlando Pirates. Your Austrian Napoli is getting a tip while he was still at Polokwane City. You see your Moremis now, and is using the success that you are blending with Orlando Pirates and Sundowns to the team that we are. We then go and qualify for AFCON, top of our group for the first time in donkey's years, which we did the very same thing with the qualification for the World Cup on top of our group, even though we almost scored an own goal with the enemy from within. The so-called team manager went and looked for eyes while the team was playing and did not see the yellow card. But this is all in answering your question, Thabo. For the kind of work that Hugo Bruce has done with Bafana, to respect the team emblem, to give the players an understanding that coming to Bafana is not a holiday. You have to sweat blood and represent your nation with pride. It will be sad if this body of work in the 4 years that he has put in is not rewarded with an AFCON. There are 7 games to play.
Yes.
We start on Monday, we're opening against Angola, and then Boxing Day, we're in the boxing ring with Egypt. Hopefully, Mo Salah will leave with more blue eyes than what he got from sitting on the bench. And then by the time we play our neighbor Zimbabwe, hopefully we'll have had our 6 points. It is important for us to get a victory to set the tone for the tournament, so that when we go to the last 2 games, we know that 6 points take you through. If we get a total of 9, why not? But let us measure ourselves with every step that we play in the competition.
I have about 45 seconds to go, and I just want to squeeze in my question in the next 5, just to say, what's the hand of fate has to do with this, especially if you were placed in a group with stronger contenders, even if you came prepared, that may work against you. Say something about the group stages, BBK.
Mm-hmm. The group stage is 9 points to play for. 6 guarantees you, definitely. 4 may even take you if the other 2 play against each other. But I do not want us to be the old Bafana of calculators. We're long past that. I say 6 points, we are through to the next thing.
BBK, always a pleasure talking to you. Really appreciate your thoughts and your views, your expertise on this. Bareng Batu Gorjas, BBK, sports editor and columnist at Sunday Times, 20 after 4.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
And today, the 18th of December, marks the birthday of Africa's favorite son, Bantu Stephen Biko, and who became an accidental activist. And without sharing much, I would allow my guest to share on the legacy of that man. I'm speaking to Nelvis Trekema, who is the president of Azanian People's Organization, and he's joining us right now on the line to commemorate and remember Steve Biko on the 18th of December, the day on which he was born in 1946. Mr. Trekema, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tabo, and 702 listeners.
Surely we couldn't let this day just pass by. Steve Biko was a huge figure, more after death than before his passing. But such is the nature of heroes, isn't it?
Indeed, he was greater than his greatness. And in fact, we owe a lot to him. We owe a lot to his contributions, to his sacrifices, and then to his death. We owe a lot to him. And he was a young man, who realized that you did not have to wait until you are older to make a contribution. As early as 1973, that was when he was banned. He had, gone through writing his seminal essays about that time. He was in his early 20s. And then at the age of 30, the young man dies and is gone. And by that time, he has left us a huge, momentous legacy.
And that legacy primarily speaks to the philosophy of black consciousness. Say a little bit about that, because in modern day South Africa, there seems to be a convenient misconstruing of black consciousness with extremism or some sort of racial intention of sorts, and wanting to conflate it with racism.
Well, a black consciousness is nothing else about the restoration of the humanity of black people, the restoration of the dignity of black people. It is about fighting the dehumanization that they suffered as a people, where they were made to feel that they were subhuman and they did not mean nothing, and they were worse than the dogs, of white people. And then even what they needed to be fed were something that would not even be fed to the dogs of white people. And that's why Steve Biko then talked about injecting life into the empty shell of black people. And then they had to be made to feel that they are human and that they can be self-assertive, and they needed to be self-reliant, because you cannot be oppressed, dehumanized, be made a slave, and still rely on your slave owner or your slave master for your own liberty or liberation. You needed to be on your own, and that is why Steve Biko embarked on those self-help projects, trying to teach the people that, look, you can do this for yourself despite the fact that you are oppressed, you are dehumanized, you are made a slave, but you can go into the fields and then you can plow the fields You can create employment for yourself. You can do things for yourself. Even though you're oppressed, you still retain human agency. You can do these things for yourself, and then you need it to fight. Even one day in liberty is better than 100 days under bondage. Steve Biko was all about that, making the black person, make him to understand that he retains his self-worth as a human being.
And self-dignity at that. I mentioned earlier on, and a number of people don't know, that he was an accidental activist. In his younger days, he didn't care much about politics until his brother and Kaya was bothered by the police, and they also bundled him together with his brother so many times that he thought, I might as well join because I'm always taken with my brother, and the apartheid police seem to think that I'm also involved in this liberation activism, but I'm not. And as a result, he became very active at a very young age, and as you said, died just before his 30th birthday.
Indeed, that is true. There he was, didn't care much about politics. And in fact, even at home, he was referred to, as he had a nickname when he was younger, Kwaku Kwaku, in Sikosa, which really meant somebody who doesn't care, where anything he grabs and where he doesn't just care free. He didn't care much, and that's why they referred to him as Kwaku Kwaku. And he was there in Ginsberg, a stronghold of the PAC, his brother, PAC activist underground, but he wouldn't get involved really until, he learned the hard way when he and his brother were arrested because of the political activities of his brother Kaya, and that's when just that type of an experience triggered the political consciousness in him, which was of course there already, because by virtue of the fact that you are a black person and living under the black condition, that awareness, that consciousness is there. It may be latent, but you just need a trigger mechanism to make you get going. That's when Steve Biko then got flying.
Before I say goodbye to you, I have to ask you a very impossible question, perhaps, and you've been asked this many times before. The relevance, briefly, of black consciousness on the backdrop of Madlanga Commission, corruption, lack of service delivery, crime, Joburg falling apart, and generally the state of South Africa not being what many liberation icons had fought for. What is the relevance of black consciousness in 2025?
Well, it is therefore everyone to see for himself. You had a Steve Biko, and who stole nothing from the people, but he gave everything to the people. And he did all that in the belly of the beast. He built clinics and then literacy projects, irrigation projects, cultural projects. He created a work for the people, and there were leather works, they were, manufacturing shoes and furniture. He did all that in the belly of the beast, stole nothing, and even sacrificed his own life. And today you turn that around, you reversed it, and even before you reversed, in fact, he donated and gave activism to the people. You talk about 1976, the June 6th uprising. That was the overall political influence of Steve Biko, and we owe it to him that we have the democracy that we have today. And then that's why it's a shame that we have now forgotten about him. How many people remember that it is his birthday today? So it is a shame that now the people have started urinating on that tree of freedom, which is supposed to be giving forth the fruit we're supposed to be enjoying, but they're urinating on that tree of freedom and urinating on that blood which spilled during the times of Azania and Matthias.
Nelson Nelvis Lekema is Azapo president. Thank you so much for your time. He was reflecting on the 18th of December, Steve Biko's birthday, 28 after 4.
EWN Business.
From one Steve to the other. This one's surname is Grotes. Steve, how you doing, man?
I'm well, Tabo. I can't live up to the original Steve, I'm afraid. There's just no way. But anyway, also to go from that to,
Yeah.
the JSC is quite a hard segue. But okay.
From the ultra left socialist leaning to the capitalist.
Let me do this, okay? So this is about growth in the South African economy and empowering people. That's as far as, I think that's as delicately as I can do it. The JSE All Share up 0.13%, 114,189 points. Financials up 0.38. Industrials down 0.16. Resources quite muted today, just up 0.16% on the day. Gold is roughly where it was yesterday. Still, incredible, but where it was. And platinum's doing slightly higher, edging closer towards $2,000 an ounce. Life Healthcare up 2.58%. The Fashini Group up 2.3%. Fort and Gala up 2.25%. And Optasia up 2% on the day as well. Motors there were a big gainer yesterday. They're down 5% today. And MTN and Telkom, both big gainers yesterday, both down today. MTN down 3.5%, Telkom down 1.11%, and Mr. Price down 1.08%, while We Buy Cars is down 0.88%. Vodacom also down 0.86%, by the way, in the telecom sector. Look, I haven't looked at all of the numbers yet, but I suspect that we'll have slightly lower trading volumes. It's that kind of time of the year. Confirmation from government's takeover regulation panel this morning. The merger between ASP Isotopes and Reanigen can now go ahead. The panel saying the deal is unconditional. ASP Isotopes, they're headquartered in the US. Their operations are here. They'll take over Reanigen and their gas project in the Free State. The ASP Isotopes say they'll focus on integrating the two firms. It'll enrich isotopes into higher concentration projects. It'll use the facility from Reanigen basically to power that. That's the idea. And then I thought I should just mention today, you've heard the company BHP Billiton.
Yes.
The person who really put it together, Brian Gilbertson, has passed away at the age of 82. And I remember, for a long time, he was a very big name in our mining sector. You'd hear his name all the time. He was 82. In the US, stock index futures extending gains. So there was an inflation report from the Labour Department showing their consumer price index rose 2.7% on an annual basis in November. People had expected a much higher rise. What this means then is, if it's lower than expected, that there could still be another interest rate cut in the US. The gold price, $4,339.10 an ounce. Platinum, $1,917.20. Brent crude, $59.91. And the rand holding steady to the dollar, 16.77 to the euro, 19.69 to the British pound, 22.51. Stephen Grotes, EWN Business.
Not doing badly at all. The rand, that is 29 minutes to 5 o'clock. Mbali Dlamini standing by with Eyewitness News headlines. Mbali, hi.
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. The search for a teenager who went missing in the surf zone in Mdumbi in the Eastern Cape is still underway this afternoon. Rescue crews responded to an alert of a drowning in progress at Hole in the Wall Beach on Tuesday after a 13-year-old boy was reported missing. Despite the extensive search of the sea and shoreline, he still has not been found. NSRI spokesperson Craig Lampanon says a helicopter is now being deployed to assist in that search.
Police, water policing and diving services, police canine search and rescue, and at times a police helicopter assisted by Eastern Cape Government Health EMS and by NSRI Mdumbi are continuing ongoing search efforts for the missing teenager.
The city of Cape Town has disposed of close to 3,000 litres of confiscated alcohol. It forms part of festive season operations in the metro to remind the public not to drink in public spaces. The liquor disposed today was confiscated by the city since the beginning of December this year. Carlo Peterson has more.
MACO member for Safety and Security JP Smith says the disposal of close to 3,000 litres of confiscated alcohol highlights a serious issue of alcohol abuse, especially during the festive season.
This is a major factor for us. Alcohol consumption in public spaces remains one of the biggest headaches for our enforcement and our emergency staff.
Smith says in the past 6 months, the city's emergency services received more than 6,000 trauma-related calls, many of them related to alcohol abuse. Smith also pleaded with motorists not to drink and drive as the festive season reaches its peak. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News, at the municipal compound in Ndabeni.
Let's stay in the Western Cape, where policing in and around Cape Town's CBD has been beefed up with more than 200 municipal peace officers deployed. The team will be deployed to Table Mountain, the city centre, Workup and key beaches this festive season. MMC for Safety and Security JP Smith says the cadets are trained to enforce bylaws as well as traffic laws.
Our Project 1000 Metro Police officers are already working in their wards, but Project 300 will be bolstering our efforts and assisting our members this year in patrolling our hiking trails, beaches and other popular tourist attractions.
Smith says the festive safety plan is not only about tourism, but also the safety of residents in gang-affected communities where Metro Police officers are on patrol daily.
Our reputation as South Africa's favourite tourist destination is important for our city's employment strategy. Every 10 tourists that arrive helps create a new job.
And Pope Leo has sounded the alarm over the use of AI in the military, saying delegating such decisions to machines is a destructive betrayal of the principles that uphold civilization. The Catholic Church's first U.S. Pope, who was elected in May, has repeatedly called for AI to be used in an ethical manner. Several countries have begun to use AI to automate surveillance, cyber defense and weapons systems. In the message published ahead of World Peace Day, which is celebrated by the Church on the 1st of January, Pope Leo also denounced the use of religion for political ends. A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow, with scattered showers and thundershowers expected. Lows of between 15 and 17 degrees and highs of between 25 and 27.
Slow-moving traffic in a question, Solomon Mahlangu between Linwood Road and the N4. There's also slow-moving traffic. This is in Hermanstad, Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and the R80 Kempton Park. Expect some delays on Pretoria Road between Sierswart and Plain Road.
A top story in EWN, the search for a teenager who went missing in the surf zone in Mdumbi in the Eastern Cape is still underway.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
America can discard an 80-year strong alliance in such a cavalier manner. Who were we in South Africa to expect that we could win them over somehow?
Bongani, you're absolutely right. This is a big power game. President Trump is very volatile. Obviously, we have to do our best with the Americans. There are certain deals that can be done, but you certainly cannot rely on them.
John Madison.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Meet McDonald. He is the self-proclaimed king of homegrown veggies. You see, McDonald believes as long as he sprinkles the seeds, the veggies will grow. He even promised beetroot and carrots to the entire neighborhood. Now, abantu bazotini, when the neighbors are asking for their share, but not a single veggie has grown. Booty, avoid the embarrassment. Make smarter decisions for your home. Visit Cashbuild for quality gardening tools and seeds at the lowest prices. Cashbuild.
Joburg, it's time to rise for our women. Friday, 19 December at 2 p.m., the Proteas women take on Ireland at the iconic DP World Wanderers Stadium, and they need you in the stands. Feel the passion, hear the power. Stand with a team that's #unbreakable. Bring your family, bring your energy, and let's fill the stands with unstoppable support. For tickets, visit www.cricket.co.za. This is our city, our stadium, our team. #DP World Wanderers Stadium, #the Pride of Josie.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
There was a forecast out last week from the Bureau for Economic Research indicating for the next 3 years, inflation expectations are now much lower than they were previously.
One of the most important factors contributing towards this has been the extraordinarily strong rand, not only against the US dollar, but against many other currencies. And this is helping to suppress import prices.
Dr. Azar Jamin is Director-in-Chief Economist at Econometrics.
The Money Show.
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, accelerating infrastructure-led growth and economic resilience through the South African National Treasury's 11.8 billion rand infrastructure and development finance bond. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
This is Bongani here from Kempton Park. The only thing I can say is that money should be a means to an end. I mean, if you're going for dinner, It's a simple thing. If a woman invites me for dinner, it's her idea. I'm not going to pay. But if I invite her for dinner, I'm paying. As well as giving people pocket money, that means I have won over you and I have the final say as long as I give you pocket money. It all makes sense.
Hi, Tibos, my point is one. If you can't afford it, don't expect me to afford it. If your family is going through problems, my family is also going through problems. This is why we stay away from women who are unemployed. Vukuzenzele, we all have issues. Love has got nothing to do with money. We need women that are going to be respectful of themselves enough to make sure that they do things for themselves. And there's plenty of them. Thank you.
Hey, it sounds as if guys are tired out there, and they've seen quite a lot with people asking for favors, dating a woman, and then she's asking for a favor. In case you've just joined us, welcome. And those messages are on the backdrop of what we asked earlier on, right at the beginning of the show, when we wanted to find out from you what your thoughts are. The president of Botswana, Advocate Duma Gideon Boko, had said that he actually issued an instruction to the guys in Botswana to start giving women money, and said, you're losing nothing and you're not man enough if you're not giving ladies money. So I wanted to hear what you had to say. And those are the voice notes that just came through. 20 minutes to 5 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
With Tolagele Mganga. Tolagele, what's the latest? Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Tabo. Well, England's Ashes hopes are all but over after they reached stumps on day 2 of the third test against Australia on 213 for 8 to trail by 158 runs. Nathan Lyons was all smiles at the end of play, having claimed his 564th wicket to move clear of Glenn McGrath and into 6th on the all-time test bowling list.
Absolutely brilliant. How good is he? Australia's best ever off-spin bowler. Second to probably Warney, but only just absolutely brilliant. So happy for him. He deserves that. You know, he's put the work in. It's been a long time coming. He's missed the last 2 tests, or the last 3 tests. Only bowled 2 overs, but get in the first over. Couldn't be prouder of you, mate. So happy for you.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has told Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich that he must pay up now to victims of the war in Ukraine or face court action. The former Chelsea owner pledged in 2022 that the £2.5 billion he made from the sale of the club would be used to benefit victims of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But there's been a delay in releasing the funds, which are currently frozen in a British bank account due to a standoff over how exactly they should be used.
We're issuing a licence to transfer £2.5 billion from the sale of Chelsea Football Club. That's been frozen, those funds, since 2022. My message to Abramovich is this: the clock is ticking. Honour the commitment that you made and pay up now. And if you don't, we're prepared to go to court so every penny reaches those whose lives have been torn apart by Putin's illegal war.
Anthony Joshua believes that he's carrying boxing on his back as he embraces the pressure of getting an early knockout against Jake Paul. The former 2-time heavyweight champion will fight the YouTuber turned professional boxer on December 19th in Miami. And while many have criticized the fight, Joshua insists he's preparing for the bout like any other.
It's my job. We fight. We're licensed to kill. I'm sure many people don't understand it, but this is what my job is. I just enjoy what I do. Whatever happens, happens. As long as my hand's raised, that's what's important, right? Respectfully. That's just the mentality we have to have as fighters. I don't know if any other fighter thinks that way. Maybe they're a bit more tamed, but the things I watch and the way my mind works, when you're in that ring, it's a dangerous place to be and anything can happen.
And Max Verstappen will take Daniel Ricciardo's number 3 next season now that Lando Norris has put number 1 on his McLaren as Formula 1 world champion. He had previously raced with the number 33 until his first title back in 2021. Drivers previously had to stick with the same number throughout their careers and must not have raced for 2 consecutive seasons before it can be reassigned. Tolagele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
With Mr. K, what's happening on the roads? Is it still a bit busy or is it slowing down a bit?
Well, I must say nothing much happening on our roads. Are pretty quiet. Otherwise, it is peak hour traffic, so there is some delays that you must just look out for in equestrial slow-moving traffic on Solomon Mahlangu between Linwood Road and the N4 Hermannstadt. Also traffic sluggish leaving the Pretoria CBD on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Wharf and the RAT Kempton Park. Expect some delays through the CBD on Pretoria Road between CR Swart and Plain, and heading in and out of the Joburg CBD. There's also slow-moving traffic in Selby on Main Reef Road between Anderson and Nasrick Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 Podcast.
On PrimeMediaPlus.com.
16 minutes to 5 o'clock. Welcome back. Thabo here for John. We're together till 6. Great having you with us. And we've been chatting about this, that, and the other. And if you are listening, we had a reflection on the memory of Steve Biko as it's his birthday today. We also touched a little bit on AFCON, African Cup of Nations, kicking off. And we spoke to BBK, who gave us some very interesting insights. We also touched on K-flu, what to expect and how to prevent it. And there's still much more to come through. Just after 5, we will be touching on DJ Waras again, that murder that shook us up at Central Johannesburg. And we're following it very closely. Oren Singh has got his teeth very tightly gripped into the story, and every single day he's coming up with something. So I don't want you to miss the very latest just after 5 o'clock from Oren, who's going to give us the lowdown on this. See, some of your text messages have been coming through, and I wouldn't ordinarily have read this one and gone on air with it, but here we go. There's someone who was lamenting the fact that we're speaking about Hopecha and blessing women with money whilst there is a plight of unemployed graduates. I don't know how many times to say this. I truly don't know how many times to say it, but perhaps I should treat it with respect, because maybe this is a first-time listener and they are posing a very valid question. So I'll respect those views and respond in this way. So we deal with a lot of current affairs issues, social issues as well. We delve into them. Clement Manyatela, Bra Orbs, they go deeper into various issues, legal, social, psychological, and otherwise. Very serious issues. So every now and then on the show, this show, including Bongani's show, we have one or two lighter things to banter on. That is just to lighten up the mood. It's frivolity. It's something facetious, light, just to lighten up the mood. We cannot always be on the hard stuff that makes everyone depressed. That is the thinking behind it, that every now and then, let's laugh at ourselves. Is that too much? I've tried to simplify it. Is that too much to ask for? That, we must laugh every now and then. There's a beautiful Setswana saying that even when someone has died, people must laugh somehow, because we can't depress ourselves all the time with horrible news. We are aware of the plight of the unemployed graduates. No one is on top of this issue like ourselves here at 702. So much that on Clement's show, there's a particular dedicated time when all the unemployed graduates are given an opportunity to share their CVs, their experience, their expertise, and so that they can expose themselves to the world of business and otherwise, so that they could get jobs. I know I'm preaching to the converted mostly, but there are one or two people who don't get this. I thought, let me just remind all of us every now and then that we don't touch on lighter things because we don't have anything better to say. We are saying every now and then, spice it up a bit with a laughter, laughing at ourselves. Is it too much? Is it too much? Am I being too mean? Let me know. 13 minutes to 5 o'clock.
For more about 702,
go to PrimeMediaPlus.com.
Now that is out of the way, getting back to it straight away. Tolagela Mganga is right here, and I have a question for her, and you, Garabo, as well. You know how creative South Africans are, Tolagela. I mean, you go on social media, people have invented words. There's colloquialism of South African nature. We weave things together that makes us typically South African. So I just wanted to ask all of us, including everyone who's listening to us now in 702 Land, your favorite South Africanism. You know, those words that are typically South African, like chief. You know, someone will say, hey, chief, give me this. Oh, shem. Never shem. And your favorite South African words?
Right now, it has to be the happy birthday Beyonce.
Yeah.
Where whenever someone tells you that, Bona, they don't like this thing because they like to set themselves apart.
Yeah.
So rather than going, okay, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
You just go, happy birthday, Beyonce. That's all you need to say.
That's the
You
first.
haven't seen it. Oh,
No, it's the first
It's
for
the
me.
funniest thing. 'Cause
Really?
It's like, congratulations that you're special. Happy birthday, Beyonce.
I'm going to use
Wow,
that one.
I'm going to use that one too. That sounds cool, man. And Jukara?
Funny enough, when you talk about chief, people find it very strange. Me and my partner, we call each other chief.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we use that one a lot. And that one where, you know, when the dog is chasing you and you start shouting.
But you know it's not a swear word, right?
It's not, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
is it? Okay.
It's
I'm
not
just
a-
going to be safe and not say it.
No, no, say it. Say it, bro. Say it. It's
If
not
I
a swear
win
word.
next year, it's fine.
I'm trying to work you out of your job. No, say it. It's okay to say it on air.
Chocho. What? You want me to get fired?
Yeah.
Chocho is another one.
Yeah, chocho is another one.
Like when a woman is asking me for money, I go,
Yeah.
chocho.
Kabazela was saying, gave me some word earlier on, and he said, awa is his
Awa.
favorite
Yeah,
South
he
African
loves
word.
it.
He loves awa.
Yeah,
Yeah, because every time I see him, it
Awa.
go, awa.
And,
Yeah, so we wanted to find out from you your favorite South African word. Please share with us on 072 702 1702. But most importantly, use it in a sentence as you are sending that voice note. Use it in a sentence. Your favorite South African word in a sentence. 072 702 1702. 10 minutes to 5.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
I never move furniture when I'm standing in for John or anyone else. So the features remain just the same. And this feature is one of my favorites when I'm listening to John on the road, at home, or elsewhere. It's called Your House, Your Home. And today we wanted to look at the importance of building plans. Why is it important to have a building plan to start off with, especially when you're putting together a newly built property? Does it really matter? As well as for existing buildings, you still need a building plan. And building plans are like the manual for a building. They give a clear understanding of what you can expect and what to anticipate when you buy a property. But also, I suppose, tells the authority about the plans that you intend implementing on whichever ground. Helping us to speak on this issue is Tian Dutoy, who is property inspector at Property Perusal. Tian, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon.
Hello, Tobo. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasurable conversation we're having.
Is it just a tick box exercise to have a plan made and send it to the municipality to be approved, or there's more to it?
Unfortunately, I think it is for most people, but there's absolutely more to it, and you've touched on it in the introduction. The building plan is like the manual of a property. You know what you will get when you get to that yard and see the building in front of you. Not only where a wall or a window should be, but what to expect in terms of the finishes of a property, specifically when it comes to a newly built property. A building plan is more than just a piece of paper with lines on it. There are a lot of other documents that accompany the building plan, like the electrical layout. You need to know where each and every switch and light will be. Unfortunately, this is not the case with newly built properties. The building plans are sometimes drawn incorrectly, and there's a lot of discrepancies when you have a look and you look up to the actual building standing there and the drawings. There are discrepancies in that.
And can anyone just put a building plan together, or you need to be qualified, certified, authorized to do this?
That's such a good question. So there should be a few signatures and signatories on the building plan. So it will be drawn up by an architect, signed off by one, and then there are other different important stamps to look out for. The most important thing that I want to allude to is a stamp from the local council. If that stamp is not there, it is not the approved plan. I don't care whoever tells you what, the local council stamp should be on that plan for you to safeguard yourself.
And what goes into it? I mean, you did mention that the electrical points, we need to know where they are. What makes a plan fail is what I'm trying to ask.
Great. So I think one of the best things to ask, like you said, especially for newly built property, is you pay X amount for a building to be built, right? So if you pay R1 million for a building, you want to make sure that your hard-earned money is actually standing there. One thing that I find a lot is on the building plan, it says that there should be insulation in the roof. But when I climb into the roof doing my snagless inspection, there is no insulation nor any underlay installed. That means that the thermal regulation in the building will be poor, which is not according to regulation. So you've paid for one thing, but it's not there. A recent inspection I did in Mpumalanga was a specific braai should have been installed, but there was none installed. A certain inverter system should have been installed, but there was none installed. So you're paying for something, but not getting the actual value for it. And that's for newly built buildings specifically.
Tian, what happens when the plans change, either from the person who has who's building, a house or any other form of building, or then you speak to your builders and they discover that, we can't do this because of what we've just discovered. What is the process? Do you need to go back mid-building, mid-construction, and take it back and to have it reviewed?
Oh, that's such a great question. And a lot of my clients, there's a lot of fights going between the developer and my client where there was a scope change and it wasn't noted. And that is so important. So the best advice that I can give is before you start the process of digging the foundation and doing site preparation, make sure what you see on that building plan is what you want. The developers give you some modulation and 3D shapes and so forth for you to actually see what's going on. Look, there will always be some changes made during the process, but it's so important to communicate to the developer and the architect, as they will advise you on the severity of it and perhaps a next iteration of application and approval is needed.
And how do you know and how do you look for a qualified, certified person to do your plan? Because I would assume that if you just go to Thabo and because it draws very well, you might find yourself in trouble, that this person doesn't really know what they're doing or they're not even certified to do whatever it is that they claim to be doing.
I fully agree. So there's a website for the architects, and it's the easiest to go onto that website and verify if the architect is legit or not. It is SACAP SA. You can just search for it and then ensure that the architect is actually the right person who have drawn that up. So that is a first step to check. And then there's other signatories as well. So there should be a structural engineer to sign off the foundations and the slabs in specific cases. What the big thing is that I find is for existing buildings, and the inspection I did this week, the owner renovated the staff quarters, but it was illegal and non-compliant. So there was no way an occupancy certificate could have been issued for this.
What is the penalty for that? Or do they just go unscathed?
Sure, Thabo, that is a really big risk for everybody. So there is the Act, the Spluma Act is coming into effect, which is already into effect in certain municipalities. But let's say in Gauteng, illegal structures will be removed if you have those structures on your premise. So it is vitally important to follow the right steps to actually address the illegal renovations that was done. So that's why I always advise my clients, if they're buying an existing building, make sure that they request the updated and approved plans for the building.
And Tian, you did mention before we say goodbye that it's for existing buildings and new buildings. Is there any building that ought to be constructed that doesn't need a plan?
Okay, that's a good question. So everything that is constructed needs approval, but not everything should be on plan or must be on plan. But you always need to get approval from your local council when you make changes, regardless of the type of structure. There are certain bylaws that is applicable as well to certain municipalities, but rather contact the right people, your local building control officer, to ensure if what the type of work that you want to do is actually legal or not.
Tian, thanks very much for your time. Really appreciate it. That was highly enlightening. Tian Dutoy, property inspector at Property Perusal.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
You're finally taking your long-awaited break.
You're going to see your family.
And you're saying goodbye for now.
To your 9 to 5.
But you don't have to say goodbye to your favorite talk station.
Talk station.
This festive season, 702 will keep playing your favorite songs.
Having engaging conversations.
And keeping you entertained. So, make sure to sit back,
relax,
and walk the talk with us this festive season.
Download the Prime Media Plus app to make sure you don't miss a single conversation.
Happy holidays
from 702.
Wits Business School has been awarded the Equus accreditation, reaffirming its position among the world's leading business schools. This year marks the success of 1,133 academic and 1,300 executive education graduates, individuals prepared to confront leadership challenges in South Africa and beyond. To all students, alumni, faculty, and partners, thank you for being part of this journey. Wits Business School wishes everyone rest, renewal, and continued success this holiday season. Wits Business School, sculpting global leaders.
You could spend 10 minutes on social media or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 55-year-old Andre, who now pays a mind-blowing 776 Rand a month for his 2024 Toyota Urban Cruiser. With Outsurance, you get to enjoy benefits like panic assistance that sends the nearest medical or armed response unit to you wherever you may be, 24/7 with just a tap on the app. SMS out to 45142. After switching, 55-year-old Stefan now pays only 611 Rand a month for his 2024 Suzuki Jimny. Outsurance is so confident that they can beat what you're currently paying. So why not put them to the test? If Outsurance can't beat what you're paying, ask them for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online. Limits apply.
PG Glass Repair, PG Glass Replace.
I'm Delane, PG Glass Technician. Is that a chip? With our advanced tools and high-tech equipment, we can repair it.
World-class repair technology, only at PG Glass. Visit pg.co.za.
This is EWN.
Police continue the search for killers of a Polokwane security company owner, and KZN High Court rules against the eThekwini municipality. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Police in Limpopo are still searching for leads in the murder of a well-known security company owner based in Polokwane. The 43-year-old man was gunned down earlier this week. Police were called to the scene on Tuesday, where they found a vehicle with Gauteng registration parked in the middle of the road. The slain businessman was found lying next to the car. Limpopo police spokesperson Malesela Ledwaba says the motive for the killing is currently unknown and no suspects have been identified.
The Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Timbi, had strongly condemned the incident and directed that all necessary resources be mobilized to ensure perpetrators are traced and brought to justice.
Ledwaba says the matter has been transferred to the Provincial Murder and Robbery Unit for further investigation.
All the information received will be treated with strictest confidentiality.
The KwaZulu-Natal High Court says the eThekwini municipality failed to manage sewage spilling into the city's beaches and violated several environmental legislations in the process. The ruling was handed down earlier today in Pietermaritzburg. It came as a result of a court challenge by the DA, which accused the municipality of failing to maintain its water treatment works, resulting in large-scale sewage spills into Durban's rivers. Tabiso Koba has more.
In April 2022, KwaZulu-Natal was hit by devastating floods, with eThekwini experiencing the most damage. Several of the municipality's infrastructure, including its wastewater treatment works, were severely damaged as a result. In court papers, the municipality says it has done all in its power and strained finances to manage the fallout from those floods. However, in a unanimous judgment handed down by 3 High Court judges, it was found the municipality repeatedly breached several sections of the National Environmental Management Act. Act. The judgment lists at least 7 directives issued by senior government departments that the eThekwini municipality failed to comply with. This included the failure to prevent pollution of Umgeni River through sewage spills. The municipality was also found in breach of the National Water Act by not satisfactorily complying with the directive to resolve pollution emanating from its waterworks. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
The South African Weather Service has issued several warnings for severe thunderstorms in some parts of the country. Several provinces have been cautioned of heavy downpours today, which may lead to localized flooding, damaging winds and a possibility of hail. This weather pattern comes as the country goes through a transition of a weak La Niña event. Forecaster Letlogonolo Thobela told a media briefing earlier today that these conditions are expected to persist into tomorrow.
We have several warnings, yet most of them are for severe thunderstorms, significant mainly over the northern parts of Gauteng into the southwestern parts of Mpumalanga, which also covers the Highveld. It is a yellow level 4 warning, which means it's a low likelihood, but the significant impacts are expected.
A petition calling for tougher law enforcement against reckless driving has garnered more than 4,000 signatures. The appeal comes after a cyclist was killed in a car crash along Victoria Road in Camps Bay earlier this week. His close friend started the petition, saying cyclists are legitimate road users and should not be on the pavement. Camry Clark has more.
Aidan Erasmus was among the first people on the scene of the crash that claimed the life of his friend, Idris Sheriff. He says at the time he had no idea who the victim was.
I walked past it and everything had been kind of contained, and I didn't see any familiar bikes at first. And then later on, when we were having coffee, a friend tried to call Idris' cell phone, and obviously someone at the scene picked it up, and that's kind of how we heard about what happened.
The driver, Bongani Mtetwa, was arrested and faces charges of culpable homicide. He has been released on 15,000 rand bail and will be back in court in April next year. Camry Clark, Eyewitness News.
And Pope Leo has sounded the alarm over the use of AI in the military, saying delegating such decisions to machines is a destructive betrayal of the principles that uphold civilization. The Catholic Church's first U.S. Pope, who was elected in May, has repeatedly called for AI to be used in an ethical fashion. Several countries have begun to use AI to automate surveillance, cyber defense, as well as weapons systems. Gold is trading at $4,234.38 an ounce. The rand is at 16.78 to the dollar, 22.39 to the pound, 19.66 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $59.68 a barrel.
In Equestria, slow-moving traffic. This is on Solomon Mahlangu between Linwood Road and the N4 in Hermanstad. Traffic sluggish. Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and the R80.
In your sport, England vowed to keep fighting as their Ashes hopes slip away. Black Caps bully the West Indies with 323-run opening stand in their third test. And Nigeria alleged that DR Congo fielded ineligible players in their World Cup playoff.
A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with scattered showers and thundershowers expected. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 15 degrees, peaking at a high of 25. Pretoria 17 and 27 and Vereeniging 16 at a high of 26 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Police in Limpopo are still searching for leads in the murder of a well-known security company owner based in Polokwane.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
7:02
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
5:07. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back. Great to be with you. Thabo Shola Mashao and for John Perlman, together with you till 6. So we have about 53 minutes to go. Great having you with us, and the show does continue. We will be speaking to Oren Singh in the next few minutes. Yesterday we touched on this very important matter of the murder of DJ Waras, who was brutally murdered in central Johannesburg, and he was shot dead after going to do some inspection of sorts at one of the occupied buildings. and well, he was shot outside that building. So our EWN team has been following this very, very closely, and Oren might just have the very latest for us. I don't want you to miss that conversation, because you see, whenever we let critical stories go, whenever we forget about important issues in society, we become numb. And they become, those stories, those horrific stories, they become part of our narrative that we just dismiss as one-off. And I wouldn't want us to do that. Hence, I'm encouraging you to stay tuned and listen to what Oren has for us as the very latest here on 702. 8 minutes after 5 o'clock, earlier I asked your favorite South African word, and I pleaded with you to use it in a sentence. Please do so on 072 702 1702.
702. Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Hey, 702 and 702 Landers. So my younger sister, my younger cousin, our word and our word, not even of the day, our word of the years is Sana. Whenever we see something, we read something, we comment on the socials, we'll be like, Sana, in the morning. Sana. So yeah, to my Sanas, I love you guys very, very much.
We love you too,
my
Sana.
leaderships.
Hi, Tabo. You know what, Tabo, you are so right, you know. The world is just so heavy. We're getting so much heavy things on us on a daily basis, you know. We're listening in Parliament, we listen literally to everything every day, 7 days a week. We listen to it, you know. So we do need that breakthrough a little bit, you know, just to laugh a little bit, you know, and just forget for 5-10 minutes. Just forget about everything what you are going through. And I don't think there's any harm in that. We can't just be serious 24 hours. No. And as you are saying, you know, we've got different talk shows all the time, every day. So yes, sometimes we just need to put a little bit of spice just to break that, you know what. Like me, for instance, baking. I don't have to bake like 7 days a week. On Sunday, I just need to take a break, you know. So everything has got a break. So, Tabo, I'm with you. Thanks, Tabo. Bye.
Hi, Tabo. My word is haibo, and another one is ne. Thanks. Bye.
Hi, Tabo. Andre here from Edenville. Look, it's one of my pet hates. It's not my favorite, but I hear it all the time from South Africans. You give them a story, and at the end of your elaborate story, and they would ask you, is it? Gosh, what are you asking? Am I lying?
No, it's not. I was just joking. But South Africans are just an amazing bunch of people. So I asked earlier on your favorite South African word. Please use it in a sentence. I heard about haibo. But use it in a sentence, please, and resend that voice note to 072 702 1702. 11 after 5.
EWN Traffic.
With Mr. K, the roads, bro, how do they look?
City of Tshwane, slow-moving traffic. Equestria, this is in Equestria on Solomon Mahlangu between Linwood Road and the N4. Hermanstad, traffic remains sluggish leaving the Pretoria CBD on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and the R80. Kempton Park, also traffic a bit slow. This is on Pretoria Road between CR Swart and Plain Road. And if you are leaving the Joburg CBD, traffic is also a bit sluggish. This is on Main Reef Road approaching Church Street. If you come across any other traffic issues, kindly WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says he expects the Madlanga Commission to refer any evidence deemed criminal to the NPA. Ramaphosa has now received the Commission's interim report exactly 3 months after the inquiry into alleged corruption in the country's criminal justice system started. The Commission has heard from 37 witnesses and will hear from more people in the new year. The report on allegations of corruption and interference will not be made public.
The President has expressed his appreciation for the interim report.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
This season, American Swiss is serving up a festive feast of gifting with unbeatable deals to help you spoil someone special or yourself. Think watches at up to 50% off, including Tempo, MX, and international brands. Diamonds are up to 50% off. And get gold and silver jewelry that make a statement at up to 30% off. There's something for everyone at the table when you discover gifts worth celebrating at American Swiss, your festive gifting destination.
Enjoy the thrill of the Soccer Punters Challenge Weekend Edition, an all-new platform from Hollywood Bets. You stand a chance to win a share of the 5 million rand jackpot when you bet 5 rand or more on selected EPL matches over the weekend and correctly predict 10 out of 10 winning margins. Or chase the share of the 50,000 rand leaderboard prize. Entry is free. Let this soccer season bring sizzling success. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
There was a forecast out last week from the Bureau for Economic Research indicating for the next 3 years, inflation expectations are now much lower than they were previously.
One of the most important factors contributing towards this has been the extraordinarily strong rand, not only against the US dollar, but against many other currencies. And this is helping to suppress import prices.
Dr. Razar Jamins, Director and Chief Economist at Econometrics.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, accelerating infrastructure-led growth and economic resilience through the South African National Treasury's 11.8 billion rand infrastructure and development finance bond. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
702 indeed. Yesterday we had a very interesting chat about DJ Walrus, how he was brutally murdered outside a building in Johannesburg CBD, and someone who was following that story very closely and speaking to people very close to the late DJ Walrus is Orenson from EWN, and I know you always love hearing from him. He's been having his teeth very tightly gripped on the story, and he's not about to let go anytime soon until we get to the bottom of this. Oren joins us right now on the line. Good afternoon, Oren. I hope you're well.
Afternoon, Tabo. All good.
The latest, I understand that you had another session with one of the possible sources.
I did, Tabo. I spoke to a source that is very close to the late DJ Warris or Warwick Stock. He's actually his business partner in his security company, Imperium Ops. And this gentleman was meant to meet with Warwick on the day he was killed, which was Tuesday. They had a meeting that was meant to take place in Hyde Park at about 10 a.m. And Warwick had called him to say that, look, he's just popping in to Zambezi House in the CBD, a building apartment, an 8-story building where he had been contracted through his security company to secure that building and do an audit as the building had been previously hijacked. So Warwick had popped into the building, and there were rumors and reports that came out from the city of Johannesburg, specifically the MMC for Public Safety, Niña, to say that he was there on the morning to facilitate the installation of biometric turnstiles as well as CCTV cameras at the building. And that's not the case. According to his business partner, who we spoke to, he was there simply to open the office for some electricians that were there to do work on the building. Electricians that were privately contracted by Warwick to come in and do some work on the electrical aspect of things regarding that building, and they often store their equipment in the office, and the caretaker wasn't available to open the office that morning as he was not around, and so Warwick went through to open the office. But over and above that, Tabo, I've seen the CCTV footage. We've been asked not to put it out there publicly, and I think I should urge anyone that does, if they do by any chance, because I know the investigators are trying to keep this really close to them at this point. Investigations are at a very sensitive point, but if by chance the camera footage or the image of the prime suspect who pulled the trigger and shot him by some chance gets out to the public, I urge people not to share that. Because, as I said, investigations are at a very sensitive point, and they're trying by all means to make an arrest. I've seen the footage, Thabo. I've seen Warwick walk out the building with another gentleman by his side, and he walks away from the Zambezi house towards his vehicle, and then we see the suspect, that suspect that police described as someone wearing dreadlocks. He was wearing shorts, floral, it almost looked like swimming shorts, and slops, sandals. And that's the way the suspect was dressed. He had a cap on, and he kind of follows Warwick, who's accompanied by another gentleman towards his vehicle, and then you don't get to see actually where the shooting takes place. But I think we got a little bit more understanding of what happened on that day. Warwick was there just to open up for the electricians. He was then going to go to Hyde Park to meet with his business partner, but by 12:15 at midday, he was gunned down.
So, Oren, the person who was walking out with Warwick, is it the same person who shot Warwick later, or there was another person? I might have missed it there.
No, so this is someone different. Remember, Thabo, police are looking at three people here, and let me just give a little bit more context.
Sure.
The shooter himself is carrying a bag. It looks like a gift bag. It's almost orange in color. And prior to him receiving that gift bag, someone, and this is where you saw the Deputy Provincial Commissioner Fred Kekana speaking about this on the scene of his murder, or the day after. There was someone wearing some sort of security outfit that crossed the road and handed this gift bag to the shooter. I think it must also be noted that the shooter was spotted in and around that vicinity, mingling with some of the vegetable sellers on the side of the road there for about an hour prior to the time Warwick was shot. And this person crosses the road, gives the shooter this gift bag, and in that gift bag, we understand the gun was in it, because we see him carrying this gift bag and then kind of reaching into it before he approaches Warwick. When Warwick walks out of the building, apparently he received a distressing call inside the building. It's something that upset him, and the words I was told that he used was, "I can't deal with this right now," and he walks out the building. So it seems like it was a call that it was urgent and he was trying to deal with, and he walks out the building, and as he leaves the building, you see him being accompanied by another man wearing a white T-shirt. Now, we don't know who this gentleman is. It could have been someone that was one of Warwick's security guards at the building, maybe in civilian clothing. We don't know if he called him out the building to deal with something or whatever the case is. But we see them walking towards his vehicle, and then we see the trigger man who actually shot him following them close behind at a very rapid pace, I must say, because he's trying to catch up with them. And what happens is he doesn't shoot Warwick when he's away from the building. He allows Warwick to walk back towards the building, and then he opens fire on him. And Warwick at some stage does try to reach for his firearm. He was armed, but unfortunately he was shot 5 times, twice in the abdomen, twice in the chest, and one to his neck. And by the time he tried to reach for his firearm, I think the damage was already done, and he was just too weak, and he collapses. It's a sad picture to paint, but I think it's a sad reality of what we're dealing with, not just in his case, but just in general with what happens to whistleblowers or anyone, for that matter, that is murdered in South Africa. This is the way that murders for hire or assassinations take place. And it's just a harsh reality that we deal with, Thabo.
2 things very quickly, Oren. I know you need to run. One, there's a possibility of a connect between the phone call that he receives, apparently when he's still inside the building, to agitate him so much that he wants to leave immediately, and perhaps he's not in a proper good headspace to fathom and somehow scan the scene outside in order for him to be best prepared to anticipate anything that could have happened. But also, I'm picking up that they waited for him. They knew he was coming, and the length at which they waited for him suggested that they were patient enough because they were certain that he'd be there on that day in a short while.
Definitely, Tabo. They definitely knew he was around. Someone had told them he is here. Now, he wasn't meant to be there for long because, remember, his business partner told us he had a meeting at 10 a.m. And from what we understand, he arrived at Zambezi House at about 9:30. And it was just meant to be a quick in and out. But between 9:30 to the time he was shot, 12:15, he remained at the apartment at the building. And we're not sure why he was there for so long. Maybe there were some issues with the electricians that he needed to assist with. I'm not 100% sure. But the suspects definitely were there for some time, watching his movements, trying to blend in with some of the vendors on the sidewalk, and trying to act inconspicuous that they were going to be doing this at a later stage. The other thing I want to say, Thabo, and I think I've gotten to a point, not just in reporting but in my career, that we have to say it like it is.
Yes.
According to our sources, Thabo, police have not yet done a 205 on Warwick's cell phone. Now, a 205 means that you apply to the service provider to get access to his phone records. It's 2 days since he's been killed. You can't tell me that in 2 days police have got his cell phone, that you have not done a 205 to get access to those records. You have not interviewed most of the 6 people that what's the word for it?
That witnessed all of
the
this.
protection orders were made for.
I
the
see,
applications for. You have not interviewed most of them. You've only interviewed 1 or 2. So I think police are dragging their feet here a little bit, Thabo, and I don't expect that they should in this day and age. And what we've seen come out of the Madlanga Commission, if anything, and the ad hoc committee, police need to show South Africans that we can actually crack this case. We're waiting on them to crack Marius van der Merwe's matter. And I know sometimes these things take time, Thabo. But for me to hear from a source today that they haven't done a 205 on a cell phone yet, that's just a little bit upsetting and disappointing.
Perhaps you need to get hold of the police as soon as possible and find out about this. Oren, also lastly, before I say goodbye to you, anything perhaps from the passers-by, those who witnessed this from afar, have they contacted the police? Have they contacted the media? Have you heard anything from those who saw this firsthand?
Well, look, Thabo, we went through to Zambezi House yesterday to meet with a source, and there weren't many people around that were willing to speak about it. We unfortunately weren't there on the afternoon that he was murdered to get a first-hand account of what happened. But I have seen a report by News 24 who spoke to eyewitnesses who, according to them, had seen the shooter specifically because he was the most identifiable, having dreadlocks. And it looks like they were blonde dreadlocks. Some were streaked blonde or highlighted blonde. That he had been lingering around for some time, and he even went and changed clothing and came back and had been lingering around the area even after the shooting. Those are just some things that that eyewitnesses had alleged to a reporter from News 24. But we ourselves have not yet spoken to any eyewitnesses or bystanders who may have seen this.
Did you see the person with the same description in the video that you were watching?
You do. It's very difficult. The pictures that I've seen, I think, have been slightly enhanced. I think that's the benefit of living in this day and age with AI. Without distorting too much, you can enhance certain aspects of the photo. But the CCTV footage itself is not the best quality. It's very difficult to even see Warwick walking out. It's very difficult to see the shooter, but you can see the shooter quite clearly making quite fast approaching Warwick as he makes towards his vehicle.
And does it fit that description of shorts, dreadlocks?
Same. It's the same. The pictures of the shooter, which are definitely more clearer than the actual CCTV video footage, it's the same person. He's wearing sandals, wearing shorts, a t-shirt, and a hat.
Keep us updated. You're doing a fantastic job, Oren, and please keep your ear closer to the ground on this and stay safe while at it. 27 minutes after 5, Oren Singh, EWN reporter.
EWN Business.
With Stephen Protes, and he'll be back with you between 6 and 8 on the Money Show. Steve?
Good afternoon, Tabo. Well, the JSE ending the day at 0.41%, 114,516 points, edging again to record highs. Look, obviously in a festive mood. Financials are up 0.75%, industrials up 0.11%, resources up 0.38%. Gold is roughly where it was yesterday. Platinum just over $1,900, so doing quite nicely. Quite an interesting situation around ASP Isotopes. So confirmation today that the merger between ASP Isotopes and Renogen can go ahead. Basically, ASP Isotopes, they're headquartered in the US, their operations are here. They enrich isotopes. That requires energy. They'll use the operations that are owned by Renogen to now do that. They say they'll focus on sort of merging the two companies. But an hour ago, actually half an hour ago, their share price fell through the floor. It was down 8%. Now it's back roughly to where it was. So on the day, it's down 0.87%. Often when one company takes over another, Company A taking over Company B's share price goes up and Company A's share price goes down. Kind of where we are, but still, it sort of dropped and then came back up very quickly. Motors down 4.71%, MTN down over 3%, Vodacom down 0.44%, and then Mr. Price down 1.19%. Life Healthcare up 2.85%, Tungela up 2.73%, Old Mutual up 2.37% as well, and Spar up 2.26% on the day. In the US, quite a strong day so far. So there was inflation numbers out today on an annualized basis in November. Prices were up by 2.7%, but people had been expecting that to be higher. They had been expecting it to be up by over 3%. And what that means is there's now a stronger case for an interest rate cut. And as a result, there's a little bit of energy in the market. The Dow Jones is up 0.64. The Nasdaq is up 1.35. The S&P 500 is up 1%. The gold price at the moment, steady really, $4,334.11. Platinum, $1,911.75. Brent crude just ticking over $60 at $60.06 a barrel. The rand to the dollar, 16.78 to the euro, 19.67 to the British pound, 22.48. On the Money Show tonight, we'll be talking about the big new project in Zimbabwe, in the KZN North Coast. So much money sort of flowing in there, Tabo. I mean, Cape Town, look out. We'll also sort of tie that to, there's a new 7-star hotel opening in Cape Town, so we'll look at that. We'll look at it all together. Also, we'll be looking at the rise of crypto. It looks like the National Treasury is actually going to stop paying money to some councils because they aren't managing their money properly. That's a big story. And then in Investment School, we'll have a look at some of the big stories of the year. So gold, platinum, artificial intelligence, and have a look at the outlook for next year.
Are we going to get to 5,000 before you sign off?
Not before I sign off, but yes. I do. So a lot of people I take very seriously are saying that. But it's hard to know. But the things that have pushed it this far, they're all likely to stay in place for next year. So geopolitical instability, the war in Ukraine, the concern around the U.S. Federal Reserve, central bank buying of gold, all of those things. And it's hard to see what would change to stop that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, things do change unexpectedly.
We can still be latecomers and throw something in there.
Yeah.
Well.
It still also just be wrong. Stephen Critis, EWN Business.
29 to 6, a little bit late. Timbali, apologies. What's the latest on Eyewitness News headlines? Good afternoon.
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to study the interim report of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. This while the Commission prepares to hear further testimony from new witnesses when its work resumes next year. Ramaphosa has now received the Commission's interim report exactly 3 months after the inquiry into alleged corruption in the country's criminal justice system started. The presidency says only the final draft will be published, but the president says he does expect the Commission to refer any evidence deemed criminal to the NPA. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Magwenya.
The president has expressed his appreciation for the interim report as well as his expectation that the Commission will, as part of its terms of reference, refer actions thought to be criminal acts for prosecution.
A total of 13 illegal miners have been arrested in Bapong in the northwest in the last 2 weeks. The police confirmation comes as rescue efforts to bring 5 illegal miners believed to be trapped underground back to the surface are expected to get underway. Heavy machinery has also been removed from the area, while mine shafts have also been closed off. Police spokesperson Athlenda Mate.
But most importantly, we want to focus on who this machinery belongs to, who is funding these illegal mining activities in that area. But in the past 2 weeks, we have seized about 10 excavators. We have arrested about, I think it's now 13 illegal miners.
Policing in and around Cape Town's CBD has been beefed up with more than 200 municipal peace officers. The team will be deployed to Table Mountain, the city centre, Workup and key beaches this festive season. MMC for Safety and Security JP Smith says the cadets are trained to enforce bylaws and traffic laws.
Our Project 1000 Metro Police officers are already working in their wards, but Project 300 will be bolstering our efforts and assisting our members this year in patrolling our hiking trails, beaches and other popular tourist attractions.
And a German man has been sentenced to life behind bars and ordered into a psychiatric centre for ploughing his car through a carnival market. The incident left 2 people dead and several others injured. The man rammed into a crowd back in March as visitors flocked to a pedestrian zone lined with food stalls, rides and games. He was found guilty on 2 counts of murder as well as 6 counts of attempted murder. A cloudy Friday in store for Gauteng tomorrow with scattered showers and thundershowers expected. Lows of between 15 and 17 degrees and highs of between 25 and 27.
Boksburg, slow-moving traffic on North Rand Road between Trichard and the R21 Rietfontein Road. There's also slow-moving traffic. This is in the Hermanstad area leaving the Pretoria CBD on Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and the R80.
A top story in EWN, President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to study the interim report of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry.
702 Afternoons
with Relebohile Maboja, 1 to 3 p.m.
There are many young people who maybe have no work experience. What would you advise that they try to do? I saw a young lady on TikTok who was doing a come with me as I take my CV to different stores looking for holiday work. And you sort of see her having that interaction. What tips can you share with a young person who maybe has no experience but is trying to go the route of, putting themselves out there for these opportunities?
So if you can start something, especially during this holiday season, whether it is looking after children, dog sitting, house sitting, building up some form of CV that you can then share with businesses as you go, that will really go a long way.
Sarah Nicholson, Head of Customer Experience at Just Money.
702 Afternoons
with Relebohile Maboja.
Let's walk the talk.
Stop and think. Will you survive the AI revolution or thrive? Regenesis students are thriving. 11 cutting-edge schools, 111 countries, world-class team of 111 with one mission: awakening your potential. Choose from law, business, technology, AI, health, economics, entrepreneurship, public management, skills academy, and digital regenesis. Undergraduate, postgraduate, upskilling, customized corporate programs. The question isn't, can you afford to enroll? It's, can you afford not to? Enroll now. Regenesis.net. Achieve your dreams.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for butcheries, restaurants, beauty salons, and more. Here's Gert.
I definitely have peace of mind that Business Outsurance is protecting our business. I do think Business Outsurance are the best insurance company out there, and they gave us the best quotes.
Switch to Business Outsurance, and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Some moments only come around once, like the Audi year-end sale. Get the Audi Q2 from $9,899 per month. With no deposit, a 90-day payment break, so you only start paying next year. plus a guaranteed buyback. There's limited time to show up, but unlimited time to stand out in the Audi Q2. Visit audi.co.za or your nearest Audi dealer before the 24th of December. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Chabo. My favorite South African word is haibo. Doesn't matter what it is, I love the word haibo.
I-702, the word that we normally use, I think this one is mostly used by the Tsonga people. Once you can hear someone who comes to you, say, Minjani boat, and this is from Goodman Maduleke.
How? What right, Saba? How can they use it how can you use it in a sentence? Haibo and ne are a sentence on their own. They are a sentence already. Anila Johannesburg.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Very stupid of me to ask you of that. Haibo is just a sentence on its own. It is self-descriptive sentence. I fully agree. If you're wondering what's that all about, earlier we asked you to help us with your favorite South African words, typically South African words or phrases, and use them in a sentence. And haibo is top of the list for now. 22 minutes to 6 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
Haibo, it's Tolagele again with sporting news. Good afternoon, Tolagele.
Afternoon, Thabo. Well, England looks set to lose another Ashes series in Australia after reaching stumps on day 2 of the third test on 213 for 8 as they trail by 158 runs. Defeat in Adelaide would seal a fourth successive series defeat down under and extend a winless run in the country to 18 tests. Despite that inevitability, bowling coach Marcus Trescothick says they are not giving up hope of a miracle.
We, behind the game again in the situation we currently stand. What was it, another 10, 11 overs till the new ball tomorrow to try and, score as many runs as we can and obviously then see what happens from there on in. But we're disappointed, of course. I think we're still fighting. We're still scrapping away in terms of what we're trying to do. Thought Australia bowled well and didn't make it easy for us, and credit to them for that. But, we've just got to keep digging in and keep scrapping away and seeing what we can do.
Serena Wegman is hoping to inspire the next generation of football managers, having become the first woman to be named Dutch Coach of the Year at an awards ceremony in the Netherlands. She's recognized after guiding the Lionesses to a successful defense of the European Championship title. At the same time, FIFA have announced that the inaugural Women's Club World Cup will now take place in January 2028 after it was pushed back from its original date of 2026. In Spain, Kylian Mbappe has edged closer to Cristiano Ronaldo's calendar year scoring record for Real Madrid. That's after netting a brace in their 3-2 victory in the Copa del Rey's last 32. Mbappe is now 1 goal shy of the 59-goal record that was set by Ronaldo back in 2013. In boxing, Anthony Joshua will return to the ring for the first time since a knockout loss to Daniel Dubois in September. That's against Jake Paul. The former 2-time heavyweight champion will fight the YouTuber-turned-professional boxer on December 19 in Miami.
That's the whole point of this fight. It creates conversation, barbershop conversations, taxi conversations, aeroplane conversations, and that's what we want. The more people talking about the fight, regardless of what it is that they're talking about, is a massive bonus. So for me, I'm not worried about what people think about the integrity side. I'm more worried about, are they talking? And as long as they are, I think we're doing a good job.
And the 2026 Vuelta a España will start with a time trial in Monaco and finish in Grenada. That's after organizers unveiled what they say will be one of the most difficult routes in the race history. 4 medium mountain stages and 6 mountain stages have been scheduled. That's far more than both next year's Tour de France or Giro d'Italia. Tola Gelemganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
With Mr. Charlie, he'll tell us the very latest on the roads. Getting slower, I suppose, Mr. K?
I must say, Mr. T, that things have been looking pretty nice throughout the afternoon. No accidents have been reported. At this stage, since it is peak hour traffic, we still have slow-moving traffic in Equestria, Pretoria. This is on Solomon Mahlangu between Linwood Road and the N4 in Hermanstad. Traffic sluggish, Eskiam Pahlele between Van der Hof and the R80. Boksburg, there's also slow-moving traffic on North Rand Road. This is between Trichard and the R21 opposite East Rand Mall. Kempton Park, also expect some delays. Pretoria Road between CR Swart and Plain Road. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 Podcast
On PrimeMediaPlus.com.
18 minutes to 6 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us. And my name is Thabo Sholamasha. I'm happy to be with you. We just have a few minutes to go. And at this juncture, often we speak about music, anything musical. And today with a team made up of Refuwe and Kabazela, as we're thinking about songs to play, a great suggestion came up that, whenever you speak about female vocalists, all that you are thinking of is that beautiful soprano. But there are female musicians with a deeper voice, lower tone, and they just give it their best. So we thought we'll throw it to you. A female voice with a deeper voice and a lower tone as they're singing, not a typical soprano, but, just that beautiful low tone. Who are they amongst others? Anita Baker, just to give you an example, is one of those. And Kabazela, together with Refuwe, they were singing Anita Baker's songs. And I'm not going to venture to torture you like that. But someone who fits this description perfectly, then I would want to hear from you. Who else is a female singer with a voice almost as closest to the one that I'm about to play for you? Then you can send your suggestions to 072 702 1702. Here's our choice.
Don't you know, they're talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. Don't you know, they're talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution. It sounds whisper. Poor people gonna rise up and get their share. Poor people gonna rise up and take what's theirs. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Oh, I said you better run, 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 run. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn, talking about a revolution. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn, talking about a revolution. Talking about a revolution, while they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds a whisper. Starting to turn, talking about a revolution.
Talking about revolution, Tracy Chapman. Female voices with low tones. And this is a beautiful one. And I know you know what I'm talking about. I'd love to hear your suggestions now. It's your turn. Maybe we might just play the song that you are sending to us of ladies with low tones. 14 to 6.
In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says he expects the Madlanga Commission to refer any evidence deemed criminal to the NPA. Ramaphosa has now received the Commission's interim report exactly 3 months after the inquiry into alleged corruption in the country's criminal justice system started. The Commission has heard from 37 witnesses and will hear from more people in the new year. The report on allegations of corruption and interference will not be made public.
The President has expressed his appreciation for the interim report.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
The festive crunch is real, but saving doesn't have to be hard. With Outsurance, you'll either save or get cash. That's right. Get a quote today, and if Outsurance can't beat your car insurance premium, ask for 500 rands cash. Make that 1,500 rand cash if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Get Outsurance festive savings or cash. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
Giant steps for mankind have never been very comfortable.
Houston, can I get an ETA? Over.
Still 3 days, 17 hours to landing. Over.
Until now. Take a giant leap forward for mankind in the new C10 range-extending EV. With heated seats, surround view camera, and a 970-kilometer range. Visit leapmotor.net to book a test drive today. Leap Motor, the next step.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hey, Tabo, you know, for some reasons, I thought Tony Braxton was a man.
Ha!
Break my heart. Say you love me again. Hey, happy Easter, Mashale.
Hey, Tada. Hey, don't say that about Tony Braxton. That's Mrs. Shola Mashal Braxton, okay? But I get exactly what you're saying. Here it's Tony Braxton.
Don't leave me out in the rain. Come back and bring back my smile. Come and take these tears away. I need your arms to hold me now. The nights are so unkind. Bring back those nights when I held you beside me. Unbreak my heart. Say you love me again.
Tony Braxton, definitely that wonderful, amazing voice. 10 minutes to 6 o'clock. More of your voice notes. Please feel free to send them to 072 702 1702.
Hi, Tabo. For me, it will be Michelle Ndewachelo with Who Is He?
And what is it to you? Yeah, Michelle Ndewachelo.
Matches the voice and what you are looking for.
Yeah, boy.
Michelle Ndewachelo with Who Is He? Cheers, bye.
Oh man, we passed, just try to stare me down. And when I looked at you, you looked at the ground. I don't know who he is, but I think that you do. That can matter. Who is he and what is he to you?
Beautiful song, Michelle Ndewachelo. Who is he and what is he to you? Beautiful indeed. Great choice, by the way. Great choice. Taking more of your voice notes. And in a short while, but feel free to send them to on 072 702 1702. Text messages, I have been missing a couple of those, and Karabo, I need to get to those text messages because I see that I have not been reading them, and that is very naughty of me. I'll try to update my screen so that I get to some of those. This one says, listening to Tracy Chapman and playing a guitar. Zahara plays a guitar as well, and Zahara came to mind. And Lennox from Eurythmics, Thorn in My Side. And I see there are more suggestions here. Tabo, Tony Braxton fit that description to me. And Mnyamezeli also has a very interesting one. And let's hear what Mnyamezeli had to say. And this is Ways My Man, Ether Kid. I've asked you to send your voice notes and your messages, or you can even call us on 011-883-0702. Here's another voice note.
Hi, Tabo. For me, I would suggest India Ree, especially her beautiful song called Brown Skin. Cheers. Bye.
For me, it is Zion by Lauryn Hill. I love her voice. Beautiful voice. Thank you, Putabo. Bye. Beautiful show. Nelani here from Renberg.
Unsure what the balance held, I touched my belly, overwhelmed by what I had been chosen to perform. But then an angel came one day, told me to kneel down and pray, for unto me a man-child would be born. Whoa, this crazy circumstance, I knew his life deserved a chance, but everybody told me to be smart.
What a beautiful song, hey? Zion, Lauryn Hill. I think she was at a peak at this point. Amazing. Lauryn Hill, Zion, 5 minutes to 6 o'clock. And Karabo, I suspect we have another voice note. So let's go straight to it without any waste of time.
Tabu, Lolly here from Pretoria. There is no way that we can ignore Joan Armour Trading and Drop the Pilot.
That's a beautiful one.
Enjoy the music, and thanks for a great show. Cheers and goodbye.
Love it, thank you.
I'm right on target, my aim is straight. So you're in love, I say what of it?
cousins, there's no smoke, no flame. If you lose that pilot, I can fly your plane. If you want solid ground, come on and
The great Jonah Matrading, British singer, amazing. Drop the pilot. I forgot about that one. Guys, you're so amazing. Your song choices are just out of this world. Thanks very much for reminding us about that one. And we asked earlier on about females with amazing voices, deep voices, and you came to the party. This one is just no different at all. Actually, at some point, she performed it. You'd be worried, but this is true. She once performed this song on a stage. That was made of coffins that was donated by black-owned funeral homes to celebrate the Selma Montgomery March. Remember that one in 1965? And the great Martin Luther King was leading the march. Yeah, this is Nina Simone. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. One of my most favorite songs. And you must hear Dion Ferris also performing the song. Amazing stuff.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say them loud, say them clear for the whole round world to hear.
Amazing song. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I know for sure that Wilson Pinkos, whoever he is also enjoying it. Great having spent some time with you today. Stay tuned between 6 and 8. Stephen Fortes will give you the money show. Have a lovely evening.
I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you'd see and agree that every man should be free. I wish I could give all I know.
And now, The Money Show.
With Stephen Grootes.